Hey guys, you are especially welcome to another YouTube live stream with me. My name is Glory Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Glory, and I am the girl with the T, as you already know. So, as usual, I want to first of all appreciate all of you amazing folks for making our time to join today's conversation. I'm super excited that we are going to be having this particular conversation today. I mean, it's one which is very important, and I'm happy that I'm going to be discussing it with you, amazing folks. Yes, and before I continue, I want to appreciate those of you that turned up for last week's Saturday's conversation. Last week's live stream was simply amazing. It was really a safe space for our own expression. A lot of us, we opened up about our fears, about so many things, pregnancy, childbirth. It was really a very, very insightful, intellectual, eye-opening conversation. And I really appreciate all of you that turned up last week. So if you're here again today, I'm super excited that you're here. Thank you all so much. And I'm sure you've seen the thumbnail already. We're going to be talking about love bombing today. All right, we're going to be talking about love bombing. A lot of people are already, on their nerves, getting upset. Why do you want to talk about this? Leave Sheggz and Bella alone. And that's because they are seeing Sheggz and Bella's pictures on the thumbnail. Well, let me put it this way. All right. So I paid for a DSTV subscription to watch Big Brother Naija for 72 days. So as a viewer, I watched the show and I saw certain housemates in their different elements, specifically these two people that chose to be a couple. And they did a lot of XYZs on the show. And me as a viewer got really interested in what they displayed on the show, right? And so I decided that fine, I'm going to do my research about whatever they showed to us on TV and talk about it. So think about today's conversation like that, and you won't really be getting on your own nerves, okay? So yeah, we're going to be talking about love bombing. Yes, and love bombing, guys, Tara, it's kind of like a new word to me or a new term. It's new to me somehow. And I'm going to be very frank with you all. It was on this channel during one of our YouTube live streams like this that I first heard the term love bombing. And I got really interested in the word, in the way it was used, in the meaning. I honestly did not know what it meant. And I can't remember which particular person spoke about it. One of those days we're talking about what's happening in the house with regards to the relationships, amongst the housemates. I can't remember if it was P or if it was Queen Omo, but the way they used the word and the way they talked about it, it was very, very interesting. And so I decided to carry out my own further research about it, to know about the term, to understand what it entails, and to understand why a lot of people online started using it to describe what Sheggz was having with Bella whilst Big Brother Naija season 7 was still on. All right. So today that's what we're going to be talking about. Not necessarily trying to dissect what Sheggz and Bella has outside the house now. To be very honest, I don't really know, and it's none of my business. So I'm just going to be talking about love bombing using what Sheggz and Bella had on the show as a case study. Quite interesting, right? So before we get into it again, let me appreciate those of you who are in the comment section already, dropping your comments, dropping your thoughts. You are really appreciated. And guys, as usual, I will talk briefly about what I have learned about the concept of love bombing. I will share what I learned from my own little research, and then I will share the link to this conversation. So if you want to join and share your own thoughts, please feel free to click on that link, on the link while I share it. All right, we would love to learn from all of you amazing people. Okay, so I've told you guys the background to how I got interested in the term love bombing. Yes, so that was what happened, and yeah, guys, it was really, really eye-opening when I was just literally googling, what love bombing was, checking up the signs of love bombing, checking up on how to know when someone is getting love bombed, right? Guys, it's really, really a very, very rich conversation. If you yourself take out time to Google it, just Google it, check it out, check out different sources, you find out that it's a very, very wow. It's actually something that happens a lot in most relationships without the people in that relationship even knowing that that is actually what's happening to them. Yeah, it's a very, very interesting concept. It happens a lot in a lot of relationships. And I really wish that people will gain, like, just do their own research and learn about these things to know when they are being manipulated. Yes. Okay, I'm just reading. I just saw Aditi to Pratt's comment. She said, "Hey, Glory, howdy. Love bombing is a norm now, mainly used in manipulating, saying beautiful words to woo me, but at the same time cursing me out and hating on me could be scary sometimes." Thank you very much, Aditi Pratt. I mean, you just set the ball rolling for this particular conversation. Yes, that is exactly what love bombing is. All right. So guys, I did to just define what love bombing is. I don't want this to be like a classroom situation where we are saying, okay, let's define this word and let's give the characteristics of this word. No, all right, we're adults here. So I did to just give us a typical definition, all right. It is another form of manipulation, psychological manipulation. It is another form of emotional abuse. It's another form of emotional manipulation. Exactly what Aditya Pratt types here right now, that's exactly what it means. When someone is showering you with a lot of flowery words, telling you about how beautiful you look, about how amazing you look, about how fantastic you are, about how fabulous you look, right? But at the same time, expecting you to reciprocate the same energy that they are using to shower you with all of those words, all of those compliments, all of those maybe gifts, right? They are expecting you to use the same energy to do the same thing for them or even do more for them. That's love bombing. It's even bigger than that. All right. And this brings me to the signs of love bombing. So if you're in a relationship with someone and you are experiencing all of these things I'm going to be mentioning right now, then just know that you have been getting love bombed all along without you even realizing it. So one of the first signs that I saw is, extravagant gifts, right? When you are in a relationship with someone and you are getting gifts like almost all the time, but those gifts that you're getting, they don't come with a constant reminder of how awesome the giver is to you. It's like someone is giving you maybe a particular sum of money every day just because the person is your boyfriend or your girlfriend. But when they're giving you that, they keep on reminding you that, well, I just want to remind you that nobody else in this world, nobody else in your life can do what I am doing for you. They constantly remind you of that. Why do they constantly remind you of that? It's their own way of controlling your mindset, controlling your thoughts, and controlling your emotions from flying around, you know, into that curiosity level, into that need to explore other options, but to direct your own emotions, to direct your mindset to focus only on them. So because they are the ones giving you that thing, they give you gifts, they buy you expensive things, they probably buy you luxury things, they buy you a lot of things. And most of the time, they give you things that they feel you need. And because they make it look like you need that thing, you now start believing that, oh, yeah, I need this thing. I believe I need this thing. So when they keep showering you with certain kinds of gifts, then they constantly remind you that, hey, I am the only one in your life, in fact, in this world, that can do what I am doing for you right now. Nobody else can do it. So in a love bombing situation, when extravagant gifts comes, what follows is a constant reminder that you should be grateful. What follows is a constant reminder that you should be appreciative and you should also reciprocate the energy that that person is using to give you all of those gifts. Another sign of love bombing is obsessive flattery. Male or female, oh babes, you look amazing. Oh babes, you are the most beautiful girl or guy or the most handsome guy in the world. Just think about it in different genders, okay? So I'm going to be focusing more on the female now. Oh babe, you're so sexy. Oh babe, you're so hot. Babes, you are the finest. Babes, only you than you. Nobody else looks like you. Nobody else is finer than you. Like they constantly fill your head, with Amazing flattery words like that. Oh, your meal is the best. You are the best cook ever. Guys, remember, there's a thin line between love bombing and actual genuine compliments in relationships. I'm not a relationship expert, but guys, these are things that happens on a day-to-day basis in different people's relationship that they don't even understand or even realize is happening to them. All right. So there's a thin line between someone giving you compliments in a relationship and someone actually love bombing you. In Lagos, there's something they call it. They make your head grow big, like they make you feel proud. You know, they tell you to look around. Take for instance, if it's the male in that relationship that's love bombing the female, they tell the female, look around. Every other girl is ugly. You are the only most beautiful girl. You are the only one that is outstanding. You are the only one that is perfect for me. In fact, you should be grateful that I chose you. Now, this is where the constant reminder also comes in. You receive the beautiful compliments, but you also receive the constant reminder that even though you are beautiful or even though you're handsome, you should also remember that nobody else in this world can handle you the way I handle you. You do not deserve me, but because I like you enough, I find you worthy to have me in your life. Ladies and gentlemen, using Sheggz and Bella's theme in the show, in the Level Up Mansion as a case study, we saw that happen a lot between Sheggz and Bella. We heard their conversations. That's for those of you that actually listened to their conversations and heard their conversations. We'll hear Sheggz say things like, finest, most beautiful girl, Big Brother Naija, season 7, no caps. You are the finest girl ever. Oh, my baby is this, my baby is hot, my baby is sexy, my baby is this, my baby is that, baby, baby, baby. Yeah? But then also comes the constant reminder that I know you're hot, but you should also know that me too, I'm hot. Yes, yes, you should also know that you deserve me. If you think that I don't deserve you, then you should know that you don't deserve me. There's always that constant reminder. When you listen to their conversations, we hear things like that. That was a love bombing situation, by the way. Now moving on, there's also the lingering, always being present. Now, a lot of people complain that, oh, in my relationship, my partner is not always around. My partner is always busy. Yes, whenever we try to make our time to go on dinner date or maybe on lunch date, my partner makes excuses. Yes. Now, guys, that is completely different in a love bombing situation. In a love bombing situation, there's no breather. There's no breathing space. You will see the person that is carrying out the act of the love bombing. You see that person is constantly in the picture. That person literally does not want their target or their victim to be out of their sight. Now, some women like that kind of thing. Some men also like that kind of thing. They'll say that, oh, my partner is obsessed with me. Oh, my partner loves me so much. My partner likes to shower me with attention. That is why my partner, does not want me to be out of their sight. Ladies and gentlemen, check carefully. You will see that beneath that lingering presence of that person, right, of that partner that is the love bomber, you find out that there is a need for control. You find out that there is a need to be in charge of that person's relationships with other people. You find out that there is a need for that person to always be acknowledged as the author and finisher of the fate, of the decisions, of the life of their target. Meanwhile, the target has his or her heads in the clouds, being all mushy about it. Oh my God, this person loves me so much. How many of you has a man or a woman that wants to have you around them all the time? If your partner is not stalking you, your partner does not love you. I see a lot of things like that on social media. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that that is a very, very toxic situation if you are in that kind of situation. So signs of love bombing, another sign of love bombing is the constant need to be present, the constant lingering presence of the other person around their target. Check what Sheggz and Bella had in the house. That was the exact situation. We rarely saw Bella having her own kind of free conversation with other housemates. Every time she found herself in a conversation with other people, what happened? Who's he, Sheggz? What does he do? He'll come from behind Bella and he will hold her on the neck like this. The other day, we had Dupe Omiwade on the live stream. Dupe Omiwade is a seasoned psychologist, a therapist. She defined that. I don't want to misquote how she defined it, but if we have a therapist in the house, I beg your indulgence. When you come up to speak, please help us to define that. What is that called? So we saw a lot of that. Sheggz was always constantly present around Bella, and she liked it. You see those people that will say, oh, this is me receiving princess treatment. She liked it. So that's that. Moving on. Yeah. Another sign of love bombing is the constant futuristic promises or the forever promises. The constant futuristic promises or the forever promises. You will see that in a love bombing situation, the person who is actually love bombing their target will constantly make promises. Oh, you're my wife. You are the person I want to be with forever and ever. You are the person I want to build my life with. Oh, I can never be with any other woman. You are the only woman for me. If you leave me, I will die. You see that if you leave me, I'll die. That's the catch point. If you leave me, I'll die. If you go ahead with another man, no man can ever love you the way I love you. Oh, we're going to have kids. Baby, we're going to have kids. We're going to have this. And guess what? Those constant forever promises always come as a pacifier, as a soothing balm immediately there's been an emotional or physical or verbal abuse. Take, for instance, the love bomber has just finished ruthlessly scolding or body shaming or invalidating the existence of their target. So immediately they are done and they see the countenance of their target breaking down, melting down. They start panicking that, oh my God, I've hurt this person. Obviously, I have hurt this person, and it might seem as though the control I have over this person is possibly going to start shaking. I need to reassure this person with my forever promises. And that's where the forever promises comes in. You are my wife. You are my husband. You know I will never leave you. You know I'm not going anywhere. You know I'm here forever and ever. Don't listen to what people are saying. Don't listen to what the world out there is saying. I am the only one that can make you happy. You are the only one that makes me happy. Babe, look at me. Look at me. Look into my eyes and tell me what you see. Oh my God. So these forever promises, these constant futuristic promises, remember, they always come immediately or maybe moments after abuse has just taken place. Why do they come immediately after? They are weaponized by the love bomber as a soothing balm, as a reassuring mechanism, how do you want to put it, to draw back to themselves their target. And it works like magic all the time. If we continue to look back at what happened between Sheggz and Bella whilst the show was still on, that was exactly what was happening 100%. I would have added videos here, but we've seen all those videos multiple times, so there's no need to add the videos anymore. Guys, apologies for my hair. This hair is just stressing me out, yes, but we've seen videos multiple times. But 99% of the time that Sheggz and Bella spent in the level up mansion playing the script of a couple, that was what was happening. Look at you. You're stupid. You don't have sense. You don't have emotional intelligence. Look at you. Does any of your ex-boyfriends, do they look like me? Are they fresh like me? Are they fine like me? Do they cook for you? Blah, blah, blah. Look at you. If you mess up, if you talk anyhow, I'll go back to my ex. My ex is waiting for me. My ex knows me. She loves me to death. Bella will start crying or Bella will complain. I'm done. I'm done. If you like, go back to your ex. I'm done. We'll see all the dramatics. In the next 5 minutes, what do we see? Babe, you know I love you. Babe, you know I'll never leave you. Come on. You're so stupid. I'm just joking. Nobody can love you the way I love you, you know. Babe, you know you are my wife. My mom will love you. My family cannot wait to meet you. My family might think you are rude, but I'll tell them that that is how you are. What did I mention before? The constant reminder that the target, the victim, is not good enough. That they are the only one that can condone the excesses of their victim. That they are the only one that can condone the flaws or even handle the flaws or even accept the flaws of their target. And ladies and gentlemen, because the target is so brainwashed, the target forgets that every human being has a flaw. So even though they themselves are flawed, they can actually work on themselves. But because they've been so brainwashed by all the constant reminders, all the constant validation and invalidation from the love bomber, they fall for it 1,000,000 times over. That was exactly what happened between Sheggz and Bella whilst BBNaija season 7 was going on. And guys, we were all a witness to it. We saw it. Anyways, moving on. Yeah. Another sign of love bombing is the strong persuasion towards making a commitment very early in the relationship. Check certain relationships that love bombing exists from one partner to the other. You will find out that because control is the sole aim that the love bomber has to gain from that relationship, control, or possibly one or two other agendas. What do? They immediately start to talk about futuristic plans, commitments. Oh, I know we've just met each other just 2 weeks now, or maybe just 1 week now, but I want you to promise me you will never talk to any other guy or any other girl out there. I want you to promise me that I'm the only person you're going to be seeing. I want you to be exclusive to me. I want you to promise me that 2 years from now, I'm the one you're going to get married to. I want you to promise me red flags. Beep, beep, beep. The love bomber is constantly seeking validation, is constantly looking for promises to be made by their target or their victim. And their victim gets really impressed. Why? Because we live in a world where people find it really difficult to commit to relationships, if we're being very frank with ourselves. We live in a world where people really want to explore their sexuality. We live in a world where people want to, first of all, sow their wild oats, taste the waters out there before they finally commit to one single person. Yeah? So what happens next? They finally meet somebody who they think or feel is genuine about settling down with them. So for them, they feel privileged. They feel special. They feel like they are more special than the rest of the people in the world. Oh my God, of all the women out there whom no man is even interested in settling down with right now, I just met this guy just 1 week ago, or even 2 weeks ago, or even 1 month ago, and already he's talking about marriage. Already he's telling me that I am the one he wants to marry. Finally. This God is good. So because they have been brainwashed to think that way and to believe that way, to believe that they are lucky to even have a man talking to them that way, showering them with attention, buying them extravagant gifts, right? And constantly reminding them the need for them to reciprocate the same kind of energy, they feel like they're lucky. And then they feel obliged to reciprocate. Ladies and gentlemen, one statement I want to make right now, which is very, very vital to this conversation, is that love bombing thrives on the spirit, on the laws of reciprocity. You have to reciprocate. I do this for you, so you have to also do it for me to prove that you love me. Those people that really understand the concept of love. I'm going to say this again. I am not a preacher of love. I'm not a psychologist. Yes, I'm not a love therapist. But I mean, we've read the Bible, we've read whatever we believe in, and we know to some extent that most of the time when people give, you do not expect to receive. That is one of the purest forms of love, when you give without expecting to receive. But guess what? In love bombing, it's a completely, I don't know, should I say selfish situation? Everything you're doing, you are doing it because you want reciprocity, you want loyalty, you want life or death loyalty. Yeah, we saw that with Sheggz and Bella whilst the show was still on. I'll put this disclaimer out there. I don't know what's going on between those two people out of the house, so I am focusing on what happened on the show. Okay? Moving on. What are the negatives of love bombing? What's the downsides of love bombing? Remember, I mentioned earlier that in love bombing, there's a thin line between genuine affections in relationships and love bombing. There's a thin line. The thin line there is when that's genuine affections, the genuine love, the genuine giving, the genuine attention, when it turns sour, it becomes excessive, it becomes abusive. That's where the thin line is drawn. It becomes excessive, becomes very abusive. So what are the negatives? Guys, we've talked about this a lot of times on this channel, so I'm just going to mention them in passing. Emotional abuse comes with gaslighting, comes with psychological manipulation, heavy manipulation. The target in such a situation constantly feels guilty when they are talking to other people and that their partner that is love bombing them is not present. They begin to feel guilty that, oh my God, I'm talking to these people, I'm fraternizing with other people, my partner is not here, my partner is going to feel bad. That way, they feel obliged to immediately dismiss themselves from that fresh crowd, from that new crowd. Even without the person physically gaslighting that person, you already feel gaslighted. Emotional abuse, psychological manipulation, constant manipulation. Anything you do, even though you are wrong, even though you're not wrong, you feel like you are wrong already. You already start castigating yourself. You already start blaming yourself for anything you did and did not do. You're already feeling guilty. You're constantly scared that, oh my God, what do I do now? I don't want to offend this person, so let me not just misbehave. You find yourself taming yourself. You find yourself shrinking so as not to provoke the love bomber. Why? Oh, there are things I'm doing that is constantly provoking this person. Oh, I don't want this person to be very upset. We saw a typical situation of that. That particular Sunday, when Ebuka tuned into the house and asked Bella questions about her relationship with Sheggz. He asked Bella, is that your love language? Every time I turn on my TV, what do I see? You're receiving insult upon insult. You're receiving degrading insults. What is that situation about? What did Bella say? I like him. I like him a lot. I do certain things that does not sit well with him. And so it provokes him. And so he gets upset. That is what happens to a target that has been completely brainwashed and overly manipulated. When a victim of love bombing has received the full dosage of it all, what happens is they begin to see themselves as the fault of that relationship. If that their love bombing partner loses their temper, they begin to see themselves as the cause. They begin to blame themselves. They begin to guilt trip themselves. They begin to blame themselves every single time. Oh my God. Like, for instance, if their partner scolds them in public, embarrasses them in public, invalidates their existence in public, what do? They begin to blame themselves. They say, oh my God, I don't know. It's because of what I did that provoked him or her. Oh, if I had not behaved in an XYZ manner, oh, he or she would have still maintained their cool. Oh my God, I am my partner's biggest trigger. Oh my God, I shouldn't have said XYZ. Oh my God, I shouldn't have done XYZ. They never ever see the wrong in what their partner has done or is doing to them. And that is because their partner has completely groomed them to believe that they are the Lord and personal Savior in a relationship that they need in their life. That's what happens. Aside emotional abuse, yes. Aside love bombing, did I say love bombing? Aside gaslighting, aside psychological manipulation, there's also verbal abuse. That one is very, very big in a love bombing situation. Remember, I mentioned it earlier. That forever promises, futuristic promises, comes as a soothing balm. Immediately, emotional abuse, or in fact, any form of abuse has just taken place in a relationship that thrives on love bombing. So that's what happens. And then there's also, okay, yeah, I think I've mentioned all the negatives of it all the negatives. Now, what's the downside to this again? Whoever has been love bombed feels they are not good enough. They feel that they can never ever find anybody out there that is like their partner. They feel like their partner is the best thing that has ever happened to them. Typical scenario was on Shegg's birthday. We listened to Bella's speech. What did she say? I have never felt this kind of love in my entire life. Nobody has ever loved me the way you love me my entire life. That is what happens when someone has received an overdose of love bombing. People who have gone through that path in life, people who have been there, that's what happens to them. They feel like nobody else is good enough for them. They feel like if that's their partner is no longer in their life, then they are as good as being useless. Even though their families have showered them with love, care, attention, spoiled them silly with everything and anything that a child needs to grow up in life, the moment they become a victim of love bombing, they begin to see everything that their family, their friends, and loved ones has ever given to them or even done for them as dust, as nothing. That's what happens. Another downside to this is that they begin to feel like they don't have an existence without that person. The person that's been a victim of love bombing before feels like nobody else understands them. They feel like nobody else sees them for who they are. They feel like nobody else understands their struggles. They feel like nobody else, can relate with them. They feel like nobody else is their soulmate. Yeah, they only see the person that has perpetrated that sort of love bombing experience of them as the only person that gets them. That's one of the downsides. And this is also to say that it's the same thing as people who have been abused. They don't even know that they're being abused. In fact, because some of them are so proud, they never ever want to see themselves as a victim. And so they decide to live in self-denial. They decide to embrace their newfound reality. And they decide to turn a deaf ear to what people around them will tell them. They decide to now start seeing other people's judgments, other people's opinion about their situation as jealousy. They think other people are jealous about their situation. They think other people are envious of their flowery, of their beautiful predicament. They don't listen. They feel like nobody else nobody else is lucky the way they are lucky. They feel like they are the luckiest people alive. That's what happens. That's one of the side effects of love bombing. What else am I going to say? Yeah, I just said some last few points here. Yeah, I said Yeah, I've said this before. Love bombing thrives on the law of reciprocity. I've said it before. Yes. The love bomber constantly expects their victim to reciprocate all the gestures, everything that they give and they do and they say. They expect their victim to reciprocate it 100%. We saw that on the full scale with Sheggz and Bella during BBNaija season 7. What happened? When Sheggz tells Bella, I love you, in just week 2 that they started out dating, and Bella does not say it back, what happens? Sheggz goes crazy. Sheggz gets upset. He gets angry. He calls out all sorts of names. He says all manner of things. You're so hard. You're so difficult. You are so tough. You're so tough. I love you. You should be able to say it back. When Sheggz hugs Bella in public and Bella does not know how to hug back, Sheggz gets upset. You are so tough. You are so rigid. You are not even warm. You're not even soft. When Sheggz kisses Bella, sometimes by force, and Bella does not know how to lean into the kiss and kiss properly, he gets upset. Look at what you've done. You've given me blue balls. I have blue balls. All the guilt tripping. We saw all of that. Another point to note about love bombing is the victim feels obliged to do more for the love bomber. That is what we saw during the show. All the defense. No, he's not like that. He's not like that. He's like this, is like that. Oh, he's not like that. Oh, I want to do this for you. I want to do that for you. We're seeing that happening today. I don't want to go into the details of that because I don't have the details 100%. So I'm not going to go into details of that. Yes. But we are hearing things now like, even though the world misunderstands you, I alone understand you. And that is what matters. Nothing else matters. That is Bella feeling obliged to reciprocate that level of protection she feels Sheggz gave to her on the show. Yeah. I know a lot of their fans here, they don't like hearing what I'm saying. Please feel free to leave this live stream. The truth is actually itching your ears. All right, but I'm going to say it. Chibuzo, if the truth, if what I'm saying is actually eating you up, please leave. All right, please leave. Yes, I cannot teach you how to love your partner, and I'm not teaching you how to love your partner. All right, and that is the difference between listening to comprehend and listening to type. Okay? Yeah, another thing I noted here is that love bombing gives control to the offender. What does that mean? The person that is carrying out the love bombing, once they succeed on different occasions to met out all of whatever they're doing, they gain instant control. It fuels their ego. They gain control. So what that means as well is that they know that whatever they do to their victim, they know that whatever they say to their victim, when they come back, their victim will still accept them. I grew up in a locality where abuse was very, very rampant. Yes. I grew up in the streets of Ajegunle. In the streets of Ajegunle, you live in face me, I face you. So when you live in face me, I face you, a man beating his wife at night is a regular thing. We have grown used, or rather, we grew used to hearing women crying in the morning or in the afternoon or at night when their husband is pounding them with slippers, with belts, with wires, with rope. Like, we grew used to hearing them cry. We grew used to watching men turn their wives into punching bags. And we also grew used to seeing those same men, when the women get pregnant and deliver a child, they throw a very, very big party to name the baby. But we also grew used to seeing such men, such fathers, when that child is not even up to 6 months old, they still slap their wives in the presence of other neighbors in that face me, I face you facility. So we've seen all of these things. We've seen a lot of love bombing situations like that. And we've seen cases where these women, they are told by their fellow women in that vicinity that, if Papa so and so is beating you, just keep quiet and take it too, because you don't know if another person will accept you and your children. You know you have 3 children, you know you have 5 children. So if you leave your husband now with your children, who's going to take care of the children? So you have to stay there. He will change. He will change. He will become a better person. He will change when the children grow to the age of going to university. So what does that mean? The woman has to stay in that marriage till the kids are up to the age of 18, 19, 20, receiving all the panel beating till their kids are ready to go to university. Someone is saying you are projecting because of your experience. Well, thankfully, I did not watch the back of my microwave or the back of my TV. I saw what I saw on TV. Yeah? So experience is the same thing that I saw on TV. So that's another thing about love bombing. The fear of the unknown. Because because the victim is constantly thinking, oh, if I leave this person or if this person leaves me, what do I fall back on? Will anybody else like me the way I am? Will anybody else, accept me the way I am? Oh, look at me, I am flawed. So because of that fear of the unknown, the target or the victim is scared to leave. And that empowers the perpetrator, that empowers the love bomber. That gives the love bomber absolute control because they know that, yes, whatever I do, the moment I return and I start gaslighting this person all over and I start preaching the preaching of love to this person all over again, this person will pay attention, this person will listen, and this person will stay with me. I will never forget that particular day. It was on a Monday, actually, that Sheggz and Bella had an explosive altercation on the show. And what happened? Bella was crying. This girl cried like somebody actually died. This girl cried and cried. She was literally wailing. That is how people cry when somebody dies. This girl cried. I listened to her cry, and I remember the day I lost my eldest brother. I almost went mad that day. That was literally the way I was wailing in the office. I was in the office when I received that news. I was wailing. I thought I was going to lose my mind. My work colleagues in the office, they had to pin me down to my chair because I was literally running mad. That was the way I was wailing that day. So the way Bella wailed that day, it reminded me of that dark day. And guess what? This girl was still wailing. And Oga Love Bomber still decided to crawl up onto her with a tiny frame on that bed. He crawled up, rested on her, and was, babe, I love you. Nobody else understands you the way I understand you. You keep on saying nobody understands you, but I understand you. I get you. Babe, I love you. You're my wife. I'm not leaving you. I'm not going anywhere. That was on a Tuesday. Okay, Monday. It was on a Monday. I remember that day. And this girl was still crying. And she still went back. I think it was that very week Sunday that Ibuka came with this question. So that is what happens. The victim feels obliged to remain there. The victim feels obliged to stick by the love bomber. The victim feels it is their duty to not leave the love bomber. The victim feels like it is their obligation to stick by the love bomber in the face of public judgment. If people are judging this person, then it means people misunderstand this person. So I have to stick by this person. I have to stand by this person. I don't have to go anywhere. I have to fight for this person because I am the one in that relationship. It means I am the one that only me understands this person, just as this person gets me. That's what happens to the victim. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all. That's all. That is all. What do you do if you find yourself in such a relationship? Ask yourself, is this how you want to live your life? To constantly shrink so that you can fully validate your existence? Do you want to validate your existence by being very little like this? Do you want to validate your existence by constantly hearing someone telling you about how flawed you are, about how not good enough you are, about how they are the best thing that ever happened to you? Ask yourself all of these questions. If you find yourself in a love bombing situation, ask yourself, do I want to live my life? Do I want to evolve into a puppet? Do I want to evolve? Do I want to turn my existence into into I don't know, but do I just want to have a meaningless life? I think for me that's the most important question. Do I want to have a meaningless life? Do I want to be controlled totally, absolutely? Do I not want to have a mind of my own? And I'll say this again. Remember, there's a thin line between love bombing and genuine profession of emotions, of affections in a relationship. Someone is asking, what are the advantages of love bombing? Well, if you think there are any advantages to it, I think you should continue embracing what you want to embrace. Not going to answer that question for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part where I'm going to drop the link to this conversation. If you feel like you have anything you want to add or you have anything you want to, explain, then please click on the link and join us to speak. All right. Yeah. So the link is in the comment section below. Just go ahead and click on it and let's hear your opinion. Okay. Just going to quickly take a water break. Hello.
Hey, hello, Glory. How are you?
Hi. I'm Mr. A. You're welcome to the conversation. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yourself? How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. Okay, so we're talking
You look,
about
you're
love
looking all
bombing.
glowy today. So
Oh,
you're
I
looking
am.
all like this.
Thank you
Yes, you
very much.
do.
I'm actually sweating. I'm sweating so much. I don't want to turn on my AC so that the noise does not disturb this live stream. But I'm excited. You amazing people are here. I can see Queen Almo. I can see Precious. Really amazing people. I'm super excited that you all are here today. Thank you all so much for joining. Okay, Mr. A, let's start with you. We're talking about love bombing. We're using Sheggz and Bella's relationship from the Big Brother Nigeria season 7 level of edition as a case study. And we're using that relationship as a case study because it was something we watched for 72 days. So I feel like, yes, we can discuss it if we want until we are tired of talking about it. So, what is your own opinion about love bombing?
I mean, I just feel it just like teenagers or people. Some people actually need to be educated on what love bombing is all about. I
Yeah.
mean, some people they don't actually realize they're in a situation where they are in a love bomb situation because if you experience it on a daily basis, let's take for instance a teenage who's living with their parents and constantly sees that has been the norm for them, you know
Mm-hmm.
love bomb the dad love bombing the mom, or vice versa. That's like the norm for them, so for them they don't actually know any different,
Yeah.
and constant for them is like it's a normal thing. And
Mm-hmm.
the reason why I kind of like your show is you're actually trying to educate people,
Thank
and
you.
people don't actually understand that those kind of things, they're not normal at all.
Yeah.
They're not actually normal at all. Is it till you actually see death and then you actually start, oh my gosh, this person was actually in an abusive relationship there, but they
Exactly.
killed him. Oh, what a shame. May so rest.
Exactly.
You'll be seeing the RIPs everywhere, may so rest in perfect peace everywhere. But if people actually have the chance to be educated about these
Mm-hmm.
things, isn't that like a start? Now, I
Yeah.
don't actually understand people, here that are actually commenting and saying, oh, are you in a relationship or, do you, I mean, I don't actually understand because I mean, it's very simple. It's an educational program whereby we're trying to learn different things. We're trying to learn different experience from different people. Some people on this live stream could have been in a situation that they probably don't even know they were actually in that situation, and you're actually
Exactly.
educating them,
Exactly.
and this is one thing that people, they're just so focused on Bella and Sheggz, Bella and Sheggz. This is not about Bella and Sheggz. This is about being in a situation whereby, is it being abusive? mentally, emotionally, or physically, and
Mm-hmm.
see the signs. Know that,
Mm-hmm.
if you are, do something about it. Look at the
Exactly.
lady who was, I can't remember her name, the church lady who died from being in that whole abuse. And the guy was a pastor, whatever, and a so-called pastor that is beating up his wife. And so many people probably on this live stream will start saying, well, yeah, Shabi was a man of God, but even still, he beat up his wife, and his wife actually, passed away. And that wasn't a, she was actually in an abuse, she was actually in an abusive relationship, and she couldn't even get out of that relationship
Mm-hmm.
because there was probably nobody, there was no sort of like network support to guide her, to assist her. That, listen, you're in an abusive relationship, you need to get out, you need to try to, you know safeguard yourself. And that's what people fail to realize. I think till when someone dies, that's when people eyes are actually going to open and start saying, oh really, oh, condolence to the family. And then you start seeing the social media campaign, everybody's be like, justice for this, justice for that.
Mm-hmm.
Why not start somewhere? Why not actually, if you see signs of something? I'm not even talking of Sheggz and Bella, because for all I care, it might just have been a show by two of them. But what I'm saying is that show, if they're actually portraying it as some sort of entertainment value to us, we are supposed to, point it out and say, you know what, this is actually in a toxic, you know, relationship, and shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
condoned by anybody, regardless of whether it's male or female. It
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't at all, because you know what? Everybody wants to actually live a healthy life. Everybody wants to
Exactly.
live and go through a healthy relationship. What does a relationship? How do you actually see what a relationship? How is defined? What do you class as being in a very good relationship? Not everybody actually goes through the goods and the bad. And the thing is, I mean, people who are actually commenting, on the live stream, sometimes those people that are commenting negatively, I just honestly think they don't actually have sense at all. Sorry to say, I just feel they haven't got any sense, because if we are, your sole focus is on Sheggz and Bella. Oh, leave Sheggz and Bella alone. Leave Sheggz. Are you actually comprehending the message behind what you are actually passing on to them? Are they that dumb to not actually, comprehend the message behind? It just shows to me that anyone who comes on your live stream and starts saying, you're stupid, you're useless, leave Shex and Bella alone. Have you two not been? Have you been in a relationship? Oh, haven't you been in a relationship where you've had up and downs? It's like those people are so dumb. They don't even actually understand the message you're trying to pass on to them. They're so dumb that they can't even get valid. Seriously, they're like thinking, "Oh, I'm only hearing you talk about Shex and Bella. This is not about Shex and Bella. Are you seriously that dumb that you can't actually comprehend the message that you're actually trying to give to them? For all they know, their sisters or brothers or whatever, or can actually be in a toxic relationship. This message you're passing on to them probably might potentially be able to for them to actually spot, if
Exactly.
anyone they do know might be in a toxic relationship.
Exactly.
But no, they're all focused on Shex and Bella. Leave them alone. You're using Shell and Bella to trend. I mean, you're chasing clouds with Shell. I mean, seriously, are you dumb? Are you that dumb to actually think that the message that you're trying to pass on is not important to people who do not realize that a relationship can be wonderful, and at the same time a relationship can look wonderful and at the same time be very abusive behind the scenes without you actually realizing. You see people come out on social media, oh, don't they look happy together, don't they look beautiful together, oh my gosh, look at them, they're taking selfies, they're taking for the IG. But behind the scenes, do you know what's actually going on?
Exactly.
People don't know
Exactly.
the amount of beating or being in emotionally or mentally being, in such a relationship. They don't actually, all they just see is, oh, they look nice together. They say picture and that's it. That's what defines being in a happy relationship.
Exactly. Exactly.
Sorry, taking IG pictures and smiling in front of cameras did not define being in a happy relationship.
True.
People don't
True.
actually understand it's all for the cameras, and the
True.
cameras does not determine what a happy relationship is all about.
True.
So some people, I seriously, I just don't get it, and I think this is where education actually comes in. People need to be educated, to actually
Mm.
say that, listen, most of the things that most of the things that goes on in a relationship, yeah, can actually be, you know it can turn quite nasty if you see signs of it. If
Mm-hmm.
you see that the love bombing and all that, you actually just, okay, well, can I actually, do something there? But listen, that's all I just gotta say. I mean, I just feel that people really, really, truly need to educate themselves. And
Thank
to be honest with
you.
you, it's all part of learning. And to be honest with you,
True.
this is all part of, this is completely different, but it's all educational process with regards to, you know, who to vote for next year, 2023. But I know that this conversation has nothing to do with, your love bombing. But please try to educate yourself. Try to actually,
Mm.
open your eyes and not just go with the crowd. Don't say, oh, because, oh, everybody likes Sheggz and Bella. It's all about Sheggz and Bella. Everybody goes, oh, yeah, you hate Sheggz and Bella. You dislike Sheggz and Bella. It's not about Sheggz and Bella. It's about what you see in that relationship. Remove Sheggz and Bella out of it. It could be anybody. It could be your brother. It could be your sister. You know. So anyway, that's all I just got to
Thank
say.
you. Thank you so much, Mr. A. Sorry, I was laughing because it was the bougie way you said it don't have sense. I'm sorry, it was just so funny. But you see, this is one of the things we're talking about. And I don't want to focus on those people, but as I always say, get the message. Get the message. It's about the message. And thank you so much for all the examples you pointed out. These are realities that, and there's even still more. There's one that even happened last month. I don't even want to go into it. The woman set herself on fire inside her matrimonial home. It was very, very nasty. It trended for only 2 days, and now people are back to their life. And
Thank you.
everybody has
And that's
returned
the
back
thing.
to the
Yeah.
usual. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what happens. Things like this happen, and people will talk about it on Twitter, on Instagram, day one, day two, and that's the end. We're back to the usual. Another drama will come up again. We'll talk about it and we'll move on. So really, thank you so much, Mr. A, and I hope that those people that are really getting themselves on fire in the comment section learn. All right, thank you so much. Okay,
No
really
worries.
quickly move on to Queen Omo. Hi, Queen.
Hello, darling.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm okay. Um, Actually, today I'm gonna come from a therapist point of view, and
Mm.
you know that this is my generation. So one
Yeah.
thing I will say about this generation is I feel as if though a lot of people in this generation need serious therapy. Even myself, that I'm a therapist, I have a therapist myself because there's a lot of trauma that happened in my childhood. Like, like my parents, because my parents love me, but they never really showed it. So
Mm.
there are all these kind of things. I feel like this generation, the couple of things about this generation. I feel like, personally speaking, I feel like this generation is a lost generation. People are in lost, not in love. That's number one.
Mm.
Number
Mm.
two, I feel like this generation glorifies toxic behavior and toxic. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
People, what's it called? And also, you see, in a relation, and also another thing is that I also feel like people feel like women or men, they feel like if they have invested a certain amount of time in a relationship, they must get
True.
their you get them they must get, like,
Really. Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
they put sentiment into it, which is why, let me tell you something. What Sheggz is doing, like I said before, and I'll say it again, is normal behavior. Almost all the guys I'm friends with, they are like this. They are like this. They're manipulative. They're narcissistic. It's just a common trend in this generation because because this generation is very toxic. Like, no, let's look at it very well. There was no relationship in this Big Brother Nigeria season that was quote unquote good. Everybody was toxic in their own way. And this is the reality of the generation. Like, these females are getting their ass beat out here and they're staying and they're like, oh, it's love. No, shorty, it's not love. Seek help. You need help. Like, I can tell you multiple examples. The ones that the one that do make like the news and the one that doesn't. Females are
Mhm.
getting beaten. Females are getting killed. Females, it's
Mhm.
just like, it's like, I feel like people, that's the thing. People are taking the trauma that they suffered in when they were younger, and they are they did not learn from it, or they did not get try to recover from it, and they're taking it to relationship. Something like Bella now, if I look at her, she's a classic case of somebody that did not grow up with a father. She didn't have that fatherly love. She doesn't know what a father love of taking care of their daughter, being their first love. She didn't know that experience. And also another thing is that Bella herself is rude and disrespectful. When somebody like Bella, let me make something clear to you people. Somebody like Bella can never date a nice guy.
Hmm.
You want to know why? Because she herself is not nice. Somebody like her, I know a girl exactly like Bella. Let me use her as an example. I know a girl exactly like Bella. This girl, disrespectful as hell. She married a guy that this guy would die for her. Guess what?
Hmm.
Within 2 years, they divorced because the guy was tired. Her toxic behavior and characteristic was too much. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And then the next person she went to, they were going as he was slapping her, she was slapping him. That is the reality of somebody like Bella. So she will die there with Sheggz because she herself is not okay in the head. I don't blame Sheggz for any of these things because Sheggz himself has young issues. Check has issues from growing up, trauma too. But the girls that are with him, they enable that. Like, how can somebody call me dumb? What's good? They don't bond the guy well. You're calling me dumb. Something my father and mother did not call me. You want to be calling me. That's the reality. Because she hasn't gotten love. She doesn't know what proper love is. So when she sees a guy that is, what's it called? When she sees a guy that is like, sorry, like Sheggz, that's like, oh, I love you, I want to marry you, she's like, her attraction is there. That relationship will always be toxic because they're both crazy people. Many where they ground, they are both witties in disguise. So it's just like that is how it's going to be. Bella, nobody should feel bad for Bella because she herself is not a good person. She is toxic. You guys saw the way she interacted in that house. What made you guys think that Bella was, what's it called? She wasn't raised in that environment. She was raised in an environment to disrespect people, talk to people anyhow. Just like Check out of both of them, Check had the more respect than Bella. Check just Check was just Check is like her. So now I have analyzed Bella. Let me analyze Check real quickly. Check is the kind of person that he was raised in a household where his mother made him feel like, oh, you know those boys that their mom been making them seem like they're her husband, like my small husband, my king, I love you so much. He was a pampered child. He was a spoiled brat that grew into adulthood. And then when he doesn't get his way, he bitches like a little bitch that he is. That is what Sheggz is. He was raised that way and he never got out of it. So both of them will never be in a great relationship. Like you said in during the week when I watched a video that you brought out, Bella will suffer in that relationship and she will never say nothing. Just like Chex will never say nothing because she feels like, oh, every girl wants Chex. She feels like she's lucky to have him. And then the fact that he's from the UK, like, I don't know why, but Nigerian babes glorify people that are abroad like they are kings and queens when they're actually normal
Mhm.
people. So I feel like Bella will not be better and she will not get better because she herself is toxic. All of these BBNaija people, you think I'm joking? All of them hoes need to be in therapy because because I would be they will be my best customer because there's a lot of things that is wrong with this generation that I see in all of them. Their entitlement, their die there attitude, the guy
True.
did not really want you, but you want to die there. Like, look at how they all embarrass themselves this season.
Hmm.
It's just no, but it's society these days. Females would rather die there. Females would rather be cheated on. Females would rather be abused than just to say that they're in a relationship,
Hmm.
then leave.
Hmm.
It's really crazy out here. Like, do you know how many girls that they're in toxic relationship, but they're still waiting for a ring? I'm like, that ring will kill you and your family. Because like are you mad? But that's the reality. These females don't
Mhm.
love themselves. They feel like in order to be loved, toxic. I don't see. There's no relationship around me. I swear to God Almighty, there's no relationship around me that I can say they genuinely love each other and they're genuinely happy. Everybody is just either one is being cheated on, one is being bashed, one is being. It's just like people feel like they can never find love. I don't know why. I feel like this society, this generation needs major help. Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you so
No
much,
problem.
Queen. Could
No
even be
problem.
that people are even looking for something else other than actual love. People are probably looking for how to survive in this world, probably beneficial relationships. Yes. What
You
do I
see,
get out of it?
you see, that is a Nigerian relationship. I personally don't believe in. I feel like me, I'm my own babe. I'm an independent babe. I have money. I'm very successful. I don't need a guy to what's it called? I don't need a guy to buy me anything. My current boyfriend, Gustav, when I first started dating him, because he's Nigerian, he was raised in Nigeria. He came to America like 7 years ago, and I've been here since I was 8, and I'm 26 now. So he was talking about like there was a time when I will go shopping, I will buy everything myself, I will go get my hair done, I'll do everything. And he was just like, one day he changed it for me, and he was just like, you need to start asking for money. I'm just like, I don't have to do anything. You don't owe me nothing. He was just like, that's not how Nigerian babes are. I said, that is their problem in Nigeria. I said, no, it's not even a problem. I just feel like there's nothing wrong with your boyfriend or significant other taking care of you, but it's not a requirement.
True.
It's not a
It's not
requirement.
true.
You can do it. You should do it for your girl, but it's not like you must because I'm dating you. You must be giving me monthly allowance. You're not my father.
Hmm.
You don't have to buy me a
Hmm.
car. I have my own car. You don't have to give me
Mhm.
money. I have my own things. What I want from you is love, affection, and things that money cannot buy. I don't need your money. And when I said that, it's shock on cool. I said, why? You're not my father. If I want something and I can't afford it, I will call my father. I have a father. He's alive. He's well. He's rich. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
He doesn't. I don't need to. I feel like females need to stop. I mean, Nigeria society, the economy is bad. So the Nigerian economy is bad. So I understand why females are like they're using relationship as a means to survive. But I don't think it's necessary that needs to be done. Hi, Daddy.
Hmm.
Hello.
Okay.
Oh,
All
okay.
right, Queen.
No,
Yeah.
so no,
Thank
as I
you.
was saying, like I feel like it's not necessary. It's not do or die. You get what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
can you can literally live you can literally be in a relationship. And that's why these girls are taking a lot of things. These girls are being sacrificed. These girls are being abused by Yahoo boys and everybody, all because they did relationship. God forbid bad thing. But it's like I said, it's the economy. Some people they don't have food to eat and they have a boyfriend that has money, they go take them. You get me? But it's not by force. You get what I'm saying? You have to have your own things to prevent disrespect from happening, in my own
Yeah.
opinion.
Thank you so much, Queen. Thank you so much, Queen. Really appreciate your contribution every time you join us. Thank you so much. We're going to quickly move on to Precious. Hi, Precious.
Hi, Glory. How are you?
I'm fine. You're welcome to the conversation.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
We're talking about love bombing in relationships. We're using what Sheggz and Bella had on Big Brother Nigeria as a case study. So we'd like to hear your
Okay.
own opinion.
No, I've been following Glory. I know exactly where we're
Cool.
on. First and foremost, you look absolutely amazing. Always tell
Thank
you your wig
you.
game is the ish.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
so this love bombing thing, hey, Glory. See, Big Brother, it's teaching us a lot of things. It's not just entertainment. So when I was watching this relationship, remember when I used to come and talk when we had our lives, our Saturday lives? I never wanted to talk about Sheggz and Bella. I think there was a time where I made a joke. I was like, "No, Lucicia's gonna take that. I'm not." But it was because I didn't understand how people could not see why other people are seeing something wrong in that, for me, just did not make sense. Like, how can you look at that picture and say everything is rosy? And how can you look at that picture and have a problem with people looking at that picture and seeing a problem? Because that picture was a problem from the start until today. Outside the show, those two are still a problem. And I'm going to sit here and call myself a fan of Bella, and I'm going to sit here and call myself a fan of Sheggz. It just doesn't make sense. So when we watched that, Glory, the love bombing thing, I first heard it on TikTok. I was going through TikTok, and there was a lady talking about love bombing. I wasn't paying attention, but when she started listing all these things, I kid you not, Glory, I sat up on my bed because I was lying. I sat up on my bed. I was like, this is Sheggz. She is talking about Sheggz, and she's a random therapist on the internet, just describing what love bombing is. And I was like, this is exactly what Sheggz is doing to this girl. And it just put the word to the action, because you see it, your spirit tells you this is not right, this is not love, this is something is not going. And then you hear someone who studies human behavior for a living say these things, and she doesn't even watch the show. She doesn't even know who Sheggz is. She's just saying this is a typical behavior of love bombing. I kid you not, Gloria. I was like, hey. I was shocked for life. So she talked about over affection very early on. Day 2, I think Sheggz was already in love with Bella, already going to marry her. She also talked about always giving compliments one after the other, making and isolating you from other people. And you think that is just because they're giving you all the attention, but they're actually isolating you so that they can have control, so that when things go south, there's no one that you can actually go to, because now you've been isolated from other people. So as she was explaining, I kid you not, I just saw the whole Sheggz and Bella thing. So guys, why are we using Sheggz and Bella? I know people are very upset. I also saw the comment section. Guys, you must understand, we saw this, some of us, for the first time. We saw this through the show. So obviously they're going to be our case study, because like I said, I also did not know what love bombing is until I watched what happened, and then later hear a therapist talking about it and all the symptoms that they were saying. Unfortunately, Sheggz was displaying. Right. So we are going to use them as a case study. Do not be mad at Glory. Do not be mad at any other speaker who dare mentions the name Bella and Sheggz. They signed up for the show. We're going to talk about them. And in their case, we must educate each other, because what they displayed, whether for the show or not, is something that is very bad. We wouldn't want any relationship to emulate that. Right. Now, why I say it's still playing out after the show. Remember when Bella left the house, she didn't talk about Sheggz, or she wasn't talking to Sheggz. She kept to herself, and we were all happy thinking, okay, someone from the family took some sense into her, because yes, she's rude. She's not an angel, but it's not like we wish her to be in a bad relationship. Okay, so just because she's rude or we feel she's disrespectful, it doesn't mean now we wish for her to be in that relationship. So when we saw that separation, some of us were very happy. We're like, okay, she can work on herself, he can work on himself. Maybe later they'll come back when the show has died down or whatever. And then all of a sudden, in my language, we say quickly, like all of a sudden, these people are now together, taking pictures together. And then what happens? Sheggz has never taken any accountability whatsoever, whether to deny or denounce anything. He's never taken accountability around the matter. It's now Bella who's doing the talking for him. He just sits there and chills like the man that he is. It's always Bella who's gonna come up. Oh, he loves me. Oh, I was never a victim. It's Bella doing the talking. So it's still happening, guys, even after the show. It's still happening. Bella is the one who, big Sheggz. Well, how are you guys okay with that? It's like I get hit by my husband and I have to go to court with bruises, and I say, oh no, but all lovers have tiffs. And he just sits there, but he's the one who did this or displays this. Some, if they came out even with a statement together, we're both taking responsibility. Hey, we learn together. But no, it's still Bella who has to do the talking and make this man look good, and he just chills there. So I'm still very much worried about her, about her situation. And then on us, I just want to say, guys, love. There's ups and downs. We are not stupid. So we're not saying that there's no ups and downs in love. Obviously, there are ups and downs, but some things you cannot tolerate and you cannot call love. Absolutely no way. And disrespect comes in many forms: verbal, emotional, physical. It's cheating, it's saying you're stupid, all of that. That's not it. That's not something you should tolerate. So we don't want anyone to emulate such things, or anyone to be in a situation and think, oh, I have to go, Glory.
I wish I heard everything you said, Precious. Oh my God, I was really battling with my network over here, but thank you so much. I hope that every other person on this live stream heard what you were saying, and I hope you come back to share more. I guess you had a call. So we're going to quickly move on to Laurie. Hi, Laurie. Are you there?
Yes, hi. How
Hi,
you
Laurie. You're welcome
doing?
to the conversation.
Thank you. How
All
is
right.
everything?
Good. Thank you. Please, let's hear your opinion about love bombing.
First and foremost, I think I'm among the people who corrected someone using damn and all that kind of word. I think it's a bit too much to use people out of like their real, like, I don't know, proper name, because we're now trying to fight people who do that, and then you also can't be coming out here and then saying, oh, this person is damn. Like, I think that is like you are now taking us back to where we're trying to fight against. And
Hmm.
then when it comes to love bombing, I think it's very deep. People are taking it at a very like normal surface. I think it starts from household. It starts from father and mother. It starts from the whole generation. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you look at the case study, obviously I'm not also very happy about it, is you look at people who have grown up. Bella has grown up, you can see there is a sense of fairy tale and fantasy because she was not alive. The father was not alive to show her and to show how the mother is meant to be loved. So there's kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing that you are now fantasizing of a man who is going to show you the movies that all of us have seen, the princess, the Cinderella, and all that, treating you, removing your shoes, carrying you when you're tired, telling you you're
Mm-hmm.
so beautiful early in the morning and praying for you, that you miss the point of the other side of it when it comes to the disrespect, the name calling, and all
Yeah.
that. So there is that kind of thing. So you really can't. I don't understand that you actually can't blame her. You can't blame her, but for her, she's working through something that most of us didn't have to go through. Some of us grew up with a dad. Some of us grew up with that sense of security. So we know when it's wrong and right. She doesn't know when it's wrong and right, and sometimes that comes into the proper education that you're supposed to mean. And I think that for me is a problem with her. I wish she would have been open to listening and have a proper education around it for her to walk through it, unless of
Mm-hmm.
saying, I didn't see it. Because if you didn't see it, then million of people saw it, then there is
Yeah.
something there. So you must
Exactly. There's a problem.
yes, you must be open to have that conversation around it, that this is happening. Why are people seeing this? And then the person
Mm-hmm.
who is friends with you, Fina and all that, also joked around it. So that should be a sense of like, if someone who is close to me saw this, how do I move around it? What were they seeing that I was not seeing? And that, I think,
Exactly.
that for me was where my problem with her comes from. My problem with Sheggz comes from also listening to his stories. I think you could see the father has always been treated as a king in the house. So I believe in some sense there was some sort of name calling around that. So that gave him that
Mm-hmm.
sense of that you can show love, and then if you wound someone, you can pepper it by gifts, assurance, words, and
Mm.
everything is okay. Forgetting that what you said already has a deeper wound than you giving me a gift and this
True.
princess ways. So I think that's the
True.
thing about it. It's all around, if people have seen it around it, how do I walk through that? I think that was where my whole era came from with her. That I wanted her not to say, I didn't see it. I don't know what you guys are speaking about. I wanted her to acknowledge that what you guys are
Mm.
seeing, I didn't notice it, but I want to learn. I want to know, well, how do you guys feel it differently?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
don't I also hate when people call her a victim. She's not a victim, because a person who is a victim, there's some sense of being in being uncomfortable in the situation. She's not uncomfortable in the situation. She believes that
Mm-hmm.
people make mistake and that for her it's norm. So us seeing that it's not norm is because we have seen places whereby that is not the right way of loving. Maybe she has not
Yeah.
seen. So you can't tell someone that is wrong when that's the only way they know. It's just like all of us who are always like taught that you can't go and say people from wars, kids who are carrying guns and killing people are actually sinners. Because in a sense, they don't know what they're doing if it's a sin. Because that's all they've grown up with. For me, if I carry a gun today, I'm a sinner because I know killing is a sin. Those people know without killing, I don't have food on the table, I have nothing to eat, my family is gone. So I have to kill. So I think that's the way around it. You only can,
Mm-hmm.
even the Bible is written that you can only blame someone when they know what they're doing is wrong and still do it. So with her, I think the process that I would want her to do is learn from it. What are people seeing that I'm not seeing? I think that would have been a very, very like huge part. But also I think it's someone said, I don't think if it's a generational thing. I think it has been way ages ago. Because at one point we were already taught from our generation and our mothers and our grandmothers that that life is hard, love is harder. So whatever
Mm-hmm.
you go through, know that as long as someone is bringing food on the table, as long as someone is giving you shelter, you can walk through this. You get that kind of proper mentality that marriage is for life. If someone is
Mm-hmm.
caring about you, is bringing food, is bringing whatever, you should stay there instead of the beatings and the words and the emotional turmoil that you go through. Someone is like, as long as you are eating, you have the three basic needs, you have to stay. And I think that's
Yeah.
what all of us are taught at a very young age. So some people see that it's normal, whereby there's some sense whereby you can have food, shelter, and food and the whole clothing, but you're not happy, you have no joy, you have like proper anxiety, depression, and all that. So we're never taught about the emotional side of things. And I think that's the problem whereby all of us have to learn. And I agree, all of us deserve like therapy should not even be charged. You should be free for all of us to go through it freely, every
Honestly.
single one of us, because all of us are coming from different environments, different backgrounds, and our parents have given us the best that they can, but we still have to learn also different tools and different ways of actually like living through this life. And the life itself is difficult. So I think that's the thing
Mm-hmm.
about the love bombing is a huge trigger, not to only Africans, to the rest of the world. All of us are living through it. And these conversations are quite important. I think having a
In the
conversation
conversation.
that there is a different way out of it is quite important according to me. That person can now notice, okay, maybe this is different. Having proper conversation, educative, learning, reading books, asking questions to different kind of people from different kind of zones. That gives you a platform. And for her, I think that is what she missed. And I don't know. People are saying her proper family. She's 25 years old. I'm 25 years old. My mom tells me something. I wouldn't take it even though I know she's right. Logically, I'll be like, I'm in love, I
Mm-hmm.
want to test it. If anything happens, I'll come back and cry in front of you. You will still love me. It doesn't matter. And I think her family cannot do as much as if she chooses herself. It's still a personal choice. So she has to choose herself. She has to be okay with that. And that is where the growth comes from. For me, I hate that she's not ready to grow. Because you're 25, you can grow. You still have so many years to grow. Why are you like, this is the way? You guys are all like, you don't know what you guys saw. I saw the love. I saw all this. And I'm saying, I think that maybe is the problem. With Sheggz, I think it's the same like the proper scenario. He's encouraged by it. What I hate about it is, even though he's encouraged by it, I think he's not seeing the part because the people close to him have not said it. His mom and his sister are the heartbeats of his heart. You can see how much that guy loves his mom and his sister. Them coming up and telling that that is wrong, I think that could have triggered something in him. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
not heard him apologize on live television like Bella saying, "You guys don't know I was not mistreated." He didn't even say that. I understand what you guys are saying. I apologize. That's not the way I want to pray. He has just given us reasons upon reasons upon reasons. And you're like, is this person okay to grow? What is wrong with saying I'm sorry that this is wrong and moving on from it and saying I'm ready to learn? It's an area that I need to learn. It's an area where I need to grow, to know how to speak to people, to know how that some words trigger some people, some words don't trigger some people. Like, oh, like it's growth. What's wrong with saying I'm wrong and I'm ready to grow? I think that's the problem with both of them. Their pride is too high for them to be ready to grow, and I don't understand why. But all of us should learn from it. All of us should know the terminology, learn how to experience love, should learn how love is not only the three basic things: food, shelter, but there's also the
Yeah,
emotional awareness around it. Is this person emotionally feeding you the right way? Do you feel like properly emotionally healthy around the person? Or sometimes they like bring you down and make you cry more times than we've actually seen her cry. And she's now
yeah,
saying cried for a very different reason. We're just like, you're crying in the bathroom, you're crying on the bed, and
yeah,
saying you're tired, you want your mother. Right now you're like, we didn't see you cry. What are you crying for? I don't understand. I don't understand. Just like her, I don't understand.
yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you so much, Laurie. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your own analysis. I just saw this comment right now in the comment section, and I thought we should look at it. This is coming from Beulah Kalu. Beulah has been really against what we're talking about. Yes, obviously, a Shella shipper. So Beulah is saying, judging a person with the love languages they express and calling it love bombing is lame. Love bombing alone isn't enough to term a person abusive. So this is me giving a special invitation to Beulah Kalu. If you can just click on the link right there, right now in the comment section, we would love for you to explain more about what you mean. All right. Your comment, obviously, it carries your own kind of meaning, and I would really love to hear what you have to explain from that. So please click on that link and join us here, educate us, enlighten us. Would love to learn more. Okay. Whilst we're waiting for Beulah Kalu to join us, we're going to move on to Coco. Hi, Coco.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm excited. We have another male figure here. You're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. As in getting to your chat room is like walking from here to heaven. Like it's been hard.
Apologies. Apologies. Yes, we'd love to know your own thoughts about love bombing. We're using the Shella situation back in the Big Brother show as a case study. What are your thoughts?
Yes. Glory, I've been a fan for like 3 years. So, but for
Oh,
this time,
thank
I
you.
think I'm going to go against you. Can you hear me?
Fine. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, express yourself. It's fine.
Yeah. So I will ask you: Have you been ever misunderstood? As in, have have you ever felt misunderstood for a very long time? Have you?
This is every day on my channel, like what's happening right now in the comments. Yes.
So, and you know that there are some people who just stand by you, like want to stand no matter what it is, they stand by you. So in the case of Sheggz and Bella, to be honest, yes, we saw Sheggz in a different way. We saw Sheggz, his full self, let me say, with his older side and maybe his current side. And let's not forget that they are in a confined space, like a prison. Just that the difference between BBNaija and a normal Kirikiri prison is that they are on air and they are eating enough. So I'm going to say this. They are out of the house. I think Bella is a strong woman. She has a voice of her own. And for her to come out and stand by Sheggz, I believe her family must have thought about it because coming from Onitsha is not a small place. It's a place that you have to convince them of what you are doing. And if they approve it, then you know you are good to go. So if Bella could stand by her words and stand by her guy, I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like we have many women who have this problem, especially from the eastern side. When you are planning to go after a guy, maybe you are planning to introduce a guy to your family, they go against it. Family comes first. Family go against it, and you have to prove a point. You have to stand. You have to tell them the reason why you want this guy to be yours, or you want this guy for a husband. And if you can prove it, then they stand by you. So Bella is a strong lady, and I've not seen a lady so strong like that. Yes, she might be abusive. Yes, she has a bad mouth or something. But there's a different side to her. Like, she's a strong lady. And once she stands by you, she stands by you. She sees all those faults. But let's not forget that there are other things that Sheggz has to offer. Yes, this side of him is to everybody, to many people, it seems bad. It seems this thing, even with his ex coming out, portraying him in a different way. There is no person you won't ask a guy that you won't meet any guy and call his ex and the ex will tell you good thing about him. So I think we should give these people a chance. Like these two, I won't say I'm their fan or they're this thing, but I'm just saying that they have their own experience.
Yeah.
I have my own experience, and I can't judge. I can't judge the way they love each other from my own experience. To be honest, so they have their own experience, and they know what they see in each other. If tomorrow they comes out and they say they are no longer doing, we should respect them.
Yeah. Okay. Thank
And
you
move
very
on.
much.
We have okay.
Thank you. Okay.
So
Please carry on.
sorry, Luke. Can I just actually contribute to what Coco actually just said? Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I think Coco is actually just kind of misreading this whole thing. We're not talking
I
of
was going to
what's
say that.
actually happening outside of BBNaija. We are actually talking of what actually happened inside of BBNaija, and what does love bombing kind of mean? We're using Bella and Sheggz inside the house as a case study. We're not really concerned about what's. I mean, to be honest with you, Glory's not even saying anything about them outside of the house. Whatever they want to do, they can actually go do it. We're actually talking of what's actually happening
But
inside
you
of the
didn't
BB.
see me. You didn't see me judging her. You didn't see me judging her. And that's what I'm saying. That inside the house, let's take it as a movie. Inside the house is just like a movie. We have seen many of these housemates that they are different inside the house and they are different outside the house. Try to understand my point.
Yeah.
Yes, we are learning a lesson from them.
Okay.
What he did inside the house is wrong. It's totally wrong. That is my first point. Glory is on point. But let's not forget that these people are outside. Now, these people have passed through the interviews, everything that comes on. Man, if you are in their shoes, I don't think you might survive it, or you will survive it. I don't know. But what I'm saying is that they have passed through this. A girl, I believe that if it's not Bella, if it's another lady, with all these things surrounding Sheggz, she could have left a long time ago. But I'm telling you that if she could stand till this moment, please, I think we should give her a chance. So I don't know. That is what I
Okay.
see.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry. Hold on, Coco. Hold on, Coco. Don't leave. Don't leave, Mr. A. Please hold on. Don't leave. I think I made a mistake before I started this conversation. I think I should have declared the purpose of this conversation, and I'm going to share it right now. So the purpose of talking about love bombing today, using the relationship these people portrayed on the show as a case study, is because that relationship that was displayed for almost 72 days on the show has now become a yardstick that is celebrated on social media by a lot of people, not just young people, but a lot of people that call themselves their shippers, the shippers of these two people. Now, in as much as people have the choice to embrace whatever they want to embrace out there, personally, I feel like it's very dangerous because there are a lot of young people out there that do not really understand that love bombing is a reality. Manipulation is a negative in relationships, romantic relationships or platonic relationships, it's a negative, right? And when you say we should give these people a chance, nobody is holding them back from not doing whatever they want to do. As a matter of fact, right now, we don't know what's happening in their space right now. And I don't really care. Because as you rightly said, Coco, they are adults and they have a mind of their own and they will do what they want to do. And yes, Bella is a strong woman. Yes, they will do whatever they want to do. But the fact that that relationship they displayed on TV, that a lot of young people, not just young anyways, but a lot of people watched, that relationship is now being celebrated as a yardstick, for me, I feel like that's a problem. And it's also
Sure.
a problem because these people do not understand that abuse is not only physical, it comes in various forms. You can talk to a psychologist about it. Dupami Wade has actually enlightened us about this to some extent already, and we're talking about it again. Because whenever they release a photo out there, you see people on Twitter, on Instagram going crazy. Oh, couple goals, couple goals. Look at how they started, and this is how they are going strong. Nobody knows what they are doing in the closet. What they see is what they put out there on social media. So people are now using whatever they displayed in the house as a yardstick that is the standard of a relationship. And I'm saying today that that is not a standard of a relationship. And that's why I'm inviting, what's his name, Beulah Kalu, to join the conversation and come and explain to us. Because now, look at what we're talking about. That kind of thing that was displayed being a standard, Beulah is calling that a display of someone's love language. Coco, is that
Yeah, I
is
can
that
hear you.
is that, is that how love language is displayed? I'm asking you, please. Is that
Yeah,
how love
like
language is displayed? Is that how it is
yes,
expressed?
like I said, I told you, like what they displayed in the house is different. It's totally different. It's just as in it's off point. To be honest,
And
I
that is
was
what we
even
should focus on and
yeah.
define and deconstruct, demystify, talk about love bombing, that it is real. Because
If,
people do not understand that these things actually do exist. They don't think it is real. Why? Okay, we heard Bella was having a conversation one of those days, and she said, oh, if she goes to her husband's house and then maybe something happens, the mom will chase her back to the husband's house and tell her that is how all men behave. Stay with your husband. Do you get where that is coming from? What's her name?
yes,
Laurie. Laurie just talked about background, people growing up and they see these things happening around them and then it becomes a norm. They think it's now the normal thing. It's the standard. So if you're in a relationship and they are talking down on you, they are abusing you, they are driving you crazy, you should remain
yes.
there because that is how it should be. We
That
are
is why.
saying in this mainstream that it is wrong, that is not how
So
it should be. People should
to be
know that these things exist.
okay, Glory. To be honest, yeah, background is very important. That's why I say the place she come from is our nature. This is Anambra State we're talking about. For you to carry a man to your house, they won't force you to. They won't force a man on you. You bring a man to your house and tell him, "This is the man you want to marry." And if after all the tests and arguments and you still stand by him, they support you. But when it starts, they will always force you to go back because it's your choice. And that is what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying. That is what I'm saying. Bella has made her choice. Yes, I agree with you that what they display in the house, what they display in front of the TV, live TV, is wrong. And we all know what is happening these days. Young people, they learn what they see on TV. They practice what they see on TV. That is totally wrong. But only few people that have the wiseness and just watch them outside the house. Yeah, I'm a fan of person keeping it private, keeping everything private. But these people has come out and said, okay, that she understands him, and that is all that matters. Only that point, I'll just rest my hand off. And I
Yeah.
believe that Bella can handle whatever that comes out of it. So that is my own point. I'm not saying I always support. I follow people the way they are, and I support you if this is what you really want. So I believe that she will carry her own cross at the end of the day.
Thank you very
Well,
much, Coco. And I
please,
want to put this disclaimer out there again that we are not in any way telling Bella to not go with her choice. We are not
sure,
saying
sure.
that. We are
I
saying
agree.
that what we saw happen for almost 72 days, there was a lot of love bombing in that relationship, and it is not the standard of a relationship that young people want to embrace, that young people want to celebrate. No, there's better out there. People can actually do better for themselves, and nobody is holding them back from doing whatever they want to do. They are adults and they are free to do whatever they want to do. Just as all of us, we take our own decisions and we bear the consequences thereafter. They are free to do whatever they want to do. And that's why we are not trying to nitpick or even presume what they might be doing on the outside because we don't know. It is what they put on social media that people thrive on. and we're not doing that right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are creating the awareness via this conversation. We're educating people that care to be educated. That that relationship that is now being celebrated as the best relationship of Big Brother Naija season 7 was actually not the best. It was very toxic. It had a lot of manipulation. It had a lot of love bombing, gaslighting. There was a lot of emotional and verbal abuse in there, and it is
Hmm.
not the standard. It was that bad, and that was why the organizers, via Ebuka, had to intervene. And as Laurie said, the people that were involved did not think they were doing anything wrong. And the fact that they did not see anything wrong does not mean that there was actually nothing wrong in that relationship. There was a lot of things wrong in that relationship. And we are talking about it because that was what we saw. If we did not see it, we wouldn't have been able to talk about it. But we saw it. So that's why we're talking about it.
Okay, Glory. I just want
Thank
to thank you again for being part of
you
it
very much.
because
Jacqueline.
thank you very much. And
Yeah.
I wish to be part of it during the season, during BBNaija season, because it's hell to enter this year in your chat room. It's
I'm
like,
glad you came today. Thank you so much.
thank
Thank
you
you so
very
much.
much.
All right. All right. So we're going to quickly move on to Latricia. Oh, before we move on to Latricia, Mr. A. Mr. A, are you still here?
Oh yeah, yeah, I'm still here. Hello.
Yeah. Do you still want to say something?
No, no. I mean, I think you actually raised all the sort of like the points I was trying to, correct
Okay.
people, when they, actually came. I think probably most people actually missed the beginning of this show. So
Yeah.
they actually think we're actually talking of Sheggz and Bella. We're not really talking about Sheggz and Bella. We're actually using it as a case study. And I think
Yeah.
we probably need to re-emphasize that to people, that it's not about
Yeah.
Sheggz and Bella.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. So quickly, we'll move
Okay.
on to Latricia. Hi, Latricia. Hello.
Hi. Hi,
Hi. You're
Glory.
welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm good yourself.
I'm great. I'm happy you're here today. So I
Yes.
see you've been following the conversation, Latricia. What are your thoughts about love bombing?
Starting from the comments of our fellow family members. Hey, I was actually shocked. But anyway, I like the question that you are asking every time before we start to say what is our thought about love bombing, or what is love bombing. Before I go into that, allow me, Glory, to say this. As I already said, that I was also looking at the comments. People need to
Mm,
understand something that, or as human beings, all of us, we need to understand that if you become, or you sign up for being a celebrity, or let's just say you become a celebrity, you are a celebrity, it is only unfortunate because there is a certain part of your private life that if you were a normal person, we were not going to comment on. But now that you are now in the public eye, unfortunately, we are going to comment on. Unfortunately, we are going to make examples with you because you
exactly.
already, the moment you become a celebrity, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing because they are giving us the shows, the whatever, but it also has its bitter part of it. Then you should be able to stand for it. And two,
Mhm.
secondly, these people, yes, they were going to be the example because of their stay when they were still in the house. But then now, when they are outside, if they wanted to keep their relationship as private as possible, or whatever they call it, they were supposed not to. The ongoing of their relationship, they were not supposed to share it on social media. Rather, let it be hearsay from other people saying this. We were not going to rely on that. But if it's them showing it on social media, obviously they are opening a can of worms for themselves, and they must know that there will be negative and both positive comments about that. So there is,
True.
unfortunately, there is nothing we can do. We can't stop it, and we will still do it. But then the purpose of the thing, like you were explaining it, I like it. It is to educate. We don't want to talk about them because they are not paying us for talking about them. It's just that
Exactly.
this is a good thing. Yes, it's an educational thing, and yes, those are the problems that we are faced with as the people in the world, the country to country, the love bombing, the abuse, and all those things. So those are the things that must always be in our topics, in our tongues, and all that. And going to to your question, Glory, to say what
Yeah.
is love bombing. Obviously, already other people have already explained it nicely in different ways, and it is the same. Obviously, it's when somebody is making actions or let's say a practice, whatever, to someone of showing love and all that, gifts and all that. But at the end of the day, one way or the other, it comes with a manipulation at the end. Obviously, that is that, and that is what we saw this boy doing in everything that he does, and then this girl must suffer for it. And so in that, that's why there was one speaker. It's just that when typing, you can't really say it all. One speaker who spoke something down there, I just forgot what he said, or choo choo or something like that. The person said, when he said that, I said people also need to understand that we as people, we come from different backgrounds with
Yeah.
different school of thoughts, but there is a bottom line. There is a bottom line, let me put it that way. There is the core of the matter. I can think of it this way or approach it this way, you approach it this way, but at the end of the day, it is abuse. It doesn't remove the fact that an insult, it remains an insult, and more especially in the manner that it comes out. We also saw the non-verbal message that was supporting the verbal message. In this case, we saw the non-verbal, and a non-verbal message is never lie. Let me promise you, a non-verbal message will never lie. You can lie with your mouth, but then when we see your face, you can say I'm happy, but your face will be saying something else. Then we believe the non-verbal message. So you could see how this guy was saying negative things to her with passion, and equally so. I want to agree that Bella is enabling this guy, and Bella is rude as well. She's really not a nice person. So I guess maybe she's attracting that negative aura. When the other lady was talking, the USA lady, I liked it when she said she is rude. Obviously, she will date people who are like that. I want the actual word is to say she is attracting, because she is presenting the aura, the negative aura. Obviously, she will attract the same aura. So she will be dating such people who are as negative as she is, because, and then that's where the statement of Coco comes in, where he says Bella is a very strong woman. We will say it will look like she is strong, but then she is being manipulated. I can qualify that in saying, to show that it's a manipulation. We never had Sheggz, maybe, I don't know, maybe if somebody has seen it on social media or something, maybe because I'm not in Nigeria, someone might come in and tell us better. Where Sheggz was at least taking accountability to say, I didn't mean it that way, or to say, oh yes, it didn't look good, or just anything. We never saw it. Always it is Bella saying it. Then that is where the manipulation comes in. He is manipulating her to correct, to confirm to the people that he is a nice guy, and it will be. I can see him telling her that, you know what, it will be better when it comes from you, baby. You know, when it comes from her, it looks like it's concrete, and then that is where the story of us misunderstanding. The guy is right to say people can misunderstand you. It's right to say that. But then in this case, it's not about misunderstanding. It is what we saw. When they came out, yes, we don't see them. We are not with them. The TV is no longer with them. But the action after that we see on social media, they think they are correcting what Sheggz did inside, but then it's making it more clearer to say it's continuing, because Sheggz is not saying anything. Bella is saying all. And there's a statement that she made to say, I understand you. Glory, that statement, she locked herself, because she will never sit down with Sheggz one day and say, this and this is wrong, I'm not happy. She will say, but you understand me. Anyone, even if everyone doesn't understand me, but baby, you understand me. It's me, I'm like that. She will never, ever sit him down and show him any mistake. And the good thing about a toxic relationship is that it doesn't it's not like a physical one. When it's physical, you will get bruised immediately. This one, the emotional one, it's a gradual thing. It ramps up, and then the question is, we always react differently as abused people, as human beings. At the end, when the glass is filled, when the jar is filled, we always react. Then we can't say how she is going to react or anything, but I can promise you, if they don't seek professional help, and we are not saying they should be apart, let them seek professional help. And if they don't do that, and this thing continues, where Bella becomes the speaker, and then she is busy covering up and saying this and say, I am telling you, we will hear news one day. I can promise you. She will surely come out, or she will surely break up with him, or something maybe even worse than that. God forbid it won't happen. We don't want bad things to happen. But the one thing about abuse is that it goes gradually. It's busy piling up. It's busy piling up. And now it's even worse because they have to deal with the public opinion. Even if they can say they don't care what the people say, but it somehow gets to you. Even if you can say that, somehow there is one who will try and make it direct. You can avoid the comments on social media, but there is one person who will make it direct, or there is one family member who will come and say, but do you see the things that they are writing? And then automatically the head will start processing it, and then it finds you in that space. I am telling you, it's not going to do them any good. Let me just say to both of them, but then it is unfortunate, like I used to say even before, to say it becomes easy if the victim becomes accepts or really becomes a victim. So Bella is a victim, but then she is acting otherwise. She is in denial. Let me put it that way. Maybe she's not a victim and all that. Then that makes Sheggz right. That automatically makes Sheggz right. Like I like the word that you've always used, that Bella is enabling it, but then it doesn't remove the fact that it is abuse. And love bombing, they do qualify. Their relationship qualifies to be in the love bombing thing. So if you are in a relationship, it's not about compliments and all that only. And if I get compliments, people need to know, girls need to know that if I get compliments because we love them, I also love them. It doesn't mean that I have to do something in return because of that. It doesn't mean that if he doesn't say I'm beautiful, or if he didn't say I'm beautiful, it doesn't mean that I'm beautiful. Beauty starts from inside. We feel beautiful, then automatically you will have confidence. Just love yourself and trust yourself. So if somebody tells you that you're beautiful, it's only me who can love you. You must tell that person that, you know what, the fact remains that the whatever that attracted you to me, you must know that even if you leave, you will not take it with. It will remain. So definitely, even if you go with your love, I will still be the glory that I was before you met me, and that I am while I'm with you, and I will still be even when you are gone. That one, girls need to tell. You must know it. I always tell girls that even if he says whatever, it doesn't matter. He should say it because maybe at that time it's bad or whatever. But you must know that whatever that attracted him to you, when he lives alone. He doesn't go with it. It stays with you. And that is what matters. Your pride matters. Your well-being matters. Money, material comes after. Your well-being, your pride, your freedom. That's what matters.
True.
I'll stop there.
True.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Latricia. Thank you very much. And you see, one thing people also do not really understand is that in a love bombing situation, right? When the love bomber does not see anything wrong in what he or she is doing, then it means they are very unapologetic about them, about whatever they're doing, and they will not change. They are not ready to change, and they do not look forward to changing. Why? Because now they've seen that they have the control and they have the backup of their victim. And for them, that is what matters. The moment they have their victim as their testifier, the moment they have their victim as their
Yes.
alibi, as their witness, they do not see any reason or any need to change or even accept that they are who or what the public says they are. And what we saw with those two people whilst the show was figuring on, that was the exact situation. Yeah.
Yes, and that's why they will say people are misunderstanding me, because as long as the
Exactly.
person who is close to me, who is supposed to be the victim, says she understands, that's why he will say people are misunderstanding me. Abuse is
Yeah.
abuse. Coco spoke very nice. We like you, Coco. You must also come back. But then there were some areas where you missed it. I wish you were still here, but then we will still have you, like you said, you will still follow. But then there is nothing about misunderstanding Sheggz. Sheggz, what he did, it was uncalled for, and he did not even show any remorse. There was one guy, Glory, give me a chance before I go. There was one guy that I liked. I don't know which season it was. The season of I think it was season 2. There was this very light in complexion lady whom it was alleged that somebody touched him up inappropriate and all that, and she was under.
Yeah.
Yes. That guy, I liked it because when he came out, I don't know when is it, but there was somewhere where I saw him apologizing, and also somewhere where he was with the same lady saying that, no, we are cool, I did apologize to her, it was, my intention was not to, and I want to promise whoever who's watching that I did not do anything other than touching her. I did not, you understand, he doesn't owe us an explanation, but that guy showed a mental intelligence that he has sense. He understands that in that platform, one way or the other, you have to respond to the people. Yes, there are people who still keep it that he's not a nice guy, it's okay, but then at least he knows that he did explain it to them. That's why I always say, when I did something wrong and people will throw a negative narrative, although I did explain, or although I know it was right, I always say I understand, because it falls within their right. But then it is also proper as a person to say, to go back to the people and say, you know what, this is how it happened, this is what I thought, but over and above, I take responsibility. And he apologized. That was very good. So, and he was not owing anyone an explanation. No one forced him to come and apologize or explain himself. You understand? But that shows that he is human. He is not a toxic person.
Yeah.
That's all from Glory.
Yeah, I agree with you. I like the way Kemen handled that situation. At least he was very, very particular about clearing his name, clearing the air. And even though it took a while for him, but at least he's been able to move past it, and people have been able to move past it as well. Thank you so much, Lutricia. I really wish you still stick around. Oh, thankfully, we have Beulah Kalu here. So we're going to be hearing from Beulah Kalu shortly.
We'll hear from you. I can't wait. Okay, Glory, thanks.
Yeah, all right, thank you. Okay, quickly we'll move on to Yolanda. Hi, Yolanda. Hello.
Hi, Glory. Hi,
Hi.
Glory.
You're welcome to the
Wait,
conversation. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. And how are you?
I'm good. I'm happy you're here. Okay, please tell us
This
your.
conversation, yeah, okay.
Okay.
This conversation hit home because a few years ago, I was also love bombed in a way.
Hmm.
And what people don't realize about this situation is someone doesn't just walk up to you and then like they just abuse you or they insult you because they know that that's not a way for them to hook you. What
Hmm.
they do in order for them to cover up whatever that comes with the package of being with them is they love you to a point where you're like, you know what, I've never been loved like this, I've never been spoiled like this. And the third thing is, you know that this person has my back because they make it seem as if everyone is against you. That's the one
Hmm.
thing that they do. They make it seem as if
Hmm.
everyone is against you and then they work on that. So the more they isolate you from people, the more you're like, yeah, you are the only one who has my back. As much as we do fight and as much as you do say things that hurt me and never actually apologize for them, you have my back. So that's all that I need. So for
Hmm.
someone like Bella, I've noticed that yes, she's sassy, she's confident, and all those other things. But at the same time, there's a lot of what's the word that I'm looking for? She's insecure. She's very, very insecure. And I feel like her sassiness and her big personality comes from the fact that she has a small body. I know this because I also have a small body. And I was very
Hmm.
sassy. I'm still sassy. So
Hmm.
it's very easy for people to attack people with the kind of bodies that we have because they see us and then they're like, even I am 22 years old, but if I go anyway, they think I'm 16 and people tend to take advantage of me. So that is a build up. It makes me angry. It makes me, whenever I speak to someone, I need to let them understand and let them know that, you know what, I might look young, but I am not this young. You understand?
Hmm.
So this situation with this person, it went on for a long time to a point where, hey, it came unbearable. They never hit me. I won't lie. They never hit me, but it was draining. It was
Hmm.
draining to a point where I'm a person who's very lively. I'm a people's person. As much as I'm sassy and you know what, I'm direct, but I'm a person's person. And what I love to do is I love to sing. The minute I started to realize that I don't even sing anymore because I'm afraid that, okay, maybe I'm going to be too loud or you do you understand? That's when I started to realize that, you know what, now something is wrong here. Not everyone is seeing this, and the people that are seeing this, they don't know each other. They are all telling me the same thing. So when different people who have no relations whatsoever, who have no discussions, tell you the same thing, it becomes a problem. That means you need to really, really take an internal look at yourself and ask yourself, is this really what I think it is, or what is happening? And the minute that I did that, that's when I started to realize, because for me, I don't just make rash decisions based on emotion. I started to what is this thing? I started to take a step back in a way emotionally and assess the whole situation. I'm like, no, man, the Yolanda of 2 years ago, would she take this? If a friend of mine was going through what I was going through, would I let them be or would I speak up? So it
Exactly.
became a problem. Yes. So it became a problem where I was like, you know what? No ways. This is not normal. And I decided to end it. And let me tell you, when you end it, that's when they come with the emotional manipulation.
Of
They
course.
manipulate you. They cry as if they are going to die. There's
And
even
when
this
you
thing.
just
Oh
hear
my
it
gosh,
becomes
I can't. Oh, you don't want to know. You do not want to know. And I stuck for the longest time. I stuck by him longer than I needed to because of the fact that I'm like, okay, now I'm embarrassed because I've been going on and on about our relationship and I don't want to prove people wrong. But then I decided, you know what? I think it's time now. Because if I stay here, I'm not gonna grow as a person. I'm not gonna grow, and my confidence, my intelligence is sinking. Everything is sinking. I am sinking, and this is the only person that I am. It's like I'm depending on this person emotionally. I don't know myself. If he doesn't tell me that I'm beautiful, I don't know that I'm beautiful. If he does, like I'm leaning towards him. If he doesn't tell me certain things, that's when, if he does actually tell me things, that's when I start to believe them. So it was something like that, and hence why for me it hit home, this Bella and Sheggz situation, because I see it. I see it. I've experienced it, and I don't want to lie. I will say this again. The only reason why it's very popular and some people are like, no, it's true love and stuff, it's because they look good together. They look good together. If they didn't look appealing, like physically appealing to the masses, I do not think they would have gotten away with this. I honestly don't think so. So
I
for me,
agree.
for the fact that so for the fact that they look good together and they've been doing all these things, it says a lot. But yeah, I don't have the time. We have load shedding in South Africa, so it's like 4%. So yeah, that's all I needed to say, Glory.
Okay, thank you so much, Yolanda. Thank you so much for sharing your own experience. I mean, I feel like this is something people should actually understand that it exists. And as we said before, there's a thin line between such a situation as love bombing and actual genuine expression of affection. There's a thin line. It does not mean that they're actually the same. But now we're going to quickly move on to Beulah Kalu. Beulah Kalu is of the opinion that whatever Sheggz displayed in the house was his own love language. So let's hear from Beulah. Thank you so much, Yolanda.
Thank
Beulah,
you.
hi. You're
Hi,
welcome to the
Glory. Can you hear me?
conversation.
Hi, can you hear
Yes.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much. First of all, I didn't say what Shex displayed was a love language. No, 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 no. And I'm thankful that you said something before you brought me up. You said there's a thin line between love bombing and actual love. And that was in the question. If I had to delete it, because it was as if maybe I didn't, it's either I didn't type it out well or maybe I was misunderstood. Now, when I said there's a thin line, just like you said, there's a thin line between actual love bombing and sincere love. Like, how do you know that
I
somebody
said
is love
actual
bombing you?
expression of affection, actual genuine
Okay,
expression of
expression.
affection,
Okay,
not love.
okay,
I
okay,
can't define love.
okay, great. So now, how do you know when somebody is being sincere? Personally, I'm an intense person. Like when I'm loving, like you understand what I'm saying? Like I'm an intense person. So I mean, I want to say, oh, I love you, even when I'm not supposed to, or when people might feel like it's too early. Now, how do you know that somebody is giving out all these acts and the person is coming from a sincere place, as opposed to someone who is actually love bombing, who is someone who is strategic when it comes to the whole love bombing act? Because the truth is, even some of the acts in love bombing, just like saying I love you, giving gifts, some of these things are the things you do when you're in actual love. When you really love somebody, these things are some of the things, they are the things you do. So how do you now know? How do you now know when somebody is love bombing you and when somebody actually loves you? And I'm going to answer it. That's because I think abuse is like a vicious cycle. Like it doesn't just take only love bombing to know that, oh, this person is abusive. The person has to now have all those other characteristics that will now make you say, okay, this person is downright abusive. In the case of Shex and Bella, We all watched it. Aside what was her name, aside what the ex said, we all watched it. In fact, the place I even drew, the point where I made up my mind was, I don't know why nobody talks about this. There was this day, I don't know what happened in the house, but Doyin was telling, was it Alison or something, and she said that she saw Sheggz throw something at the door. I don't know if anybody watched that part.
We
I
talked
was,
about it.
you talked about it here.
Yeah, we discussed it here.
Oh, really? Okay, I wasn't even here when you guys talked about it, but I've really not seen anybody talk about it. It was at that point I just said, no, 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 it's not possible. And he was strategic. I think he went to the toilet because he knew the camera was not going to be there. He wasn't even heard, but of course he was doing who, blew the cover and all that. We all watched it. I'm not going to stay here. I'm a married woman with 2 kids and I have 2 boys. I'm not going to stay here and say that Sheggz was not abusive, because if I say that, then it means I want my sons to be like him, and that's not possible. We all
Oh,
watched it. We saw what he did. I'm never ever going to do that. So when you said that thing in the comments, when you even it was like you were calling me out. No, 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 no,
I
absolutely
think you,
not.
I think
Absolutely not.
maybe you mistyped it because I
I
actually shared that comment here.
I
If you
mistyped it.
rewind back, you see it.
I must have mistyped it because I was even
Yeah,
trying to ask
you
a question
probably
like,
mistyped. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. I was trying to ask a question like, how do people now know? Like, how will you now know that okay,
Okay,
oh, this person is coming from a sincere place? Do you understand?
can I
Because some
can
of
I
this,
answer that question?
exactly. Please, can you go on?
Okay, because I'm so happy that honestly, I am genuinely happy you joined this
Okay.
conversation by yourself. And you see, this is the thing we talk about dropping comments, right? Sometimes I'm wondering, okay, where are these comments coming from? So as you
Mhm.
said, you probably typed that comment. That was why I shared it. So I'm glad you asked this question because before people started joining to speak, I actually shared what I learned from my research about love bombing. So from
Mhm.
what I learned online, yes, love bombing thrives on the spirit of reciprocity or reciprocating gestures. So, how do you know you're in a love bombing situation? People would define love as, oh, giving without expecting to receive back, right? That's what people would define love. But then when people give you things, or maybe your partner, maybe the person that you're with, keeps giving you things, and every time they give you something, they remind you about how you must give back to them because that is how it should be. When they constantly remind you about how they are the only people that can actually do what they are doing for you, the constant reminder that you have to be grateful, the constant reminder that you have to be humble, you have to reduce yourself for them. Sometimes they don't tell you this thing outrightly, but in terms of when arguments spring up, they use it as a weapon to make you shrink. Then you should know that that's a love bombing situation. So it is based on the law of reciprocity. People who claim to love you when they give you things, whether they give you affection, whether they give you attention, whether they give you their time, regardless of whatever situation you find yourself, it's not like you are not giving those things back to them, but they're expecting you to do it on the same degree or even more than how they are doing it for you. That's how it comes. Are you there,
Yeah, I'm
Beulah?
here. Yeah, I'm
Yes,
here. I'm
yes,
here.
yes.
Okay. Then I would also like to speak about another thing. Sometimes there are some things people say that we don't take note of. It's just like my people will say is when what somebody says when they're joking, that's the one you should take serious.
Mhm.
Now, there was this time in the house, I think, was it after the party or something? After the party, and Bella was asking Sheggz if she wasn't in the house, would he have done anything with Beauty? And Sheggz actually said yes. That's not okay. That's not okay, because it was as if this boy, like he was really he was yearning to be called an honest guy. It's not okay. Like, you can't be telling me that, oh, if this person wasn't in the house, oh, you would have done this, and you expect me to jatoost with you. It doesn't work that way, honestly. And it comes to the point where women, we need to know our worth. We really, really
Exactly.
need to know our worth. I'm telling you, nobody can tell me anything. Even if I'm the ugliest girl in the world, I am going to stand by my beauty. Somebody
Are
tells
you there?
me, yeah, I can hear you. So that when somebody tells me I'm beautiful, I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be jumping up and down because I
Yeah.
already know I'm going to be secure in myself. The funny thing is that it's funny how Sheggz was shouting in the house, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure, I'm secure. But ordinary task that they gave Adekunle and Bella, he wanted to piss his pants. It's crazy, honestly. I'm telling you. I beg, I beg, I beg, I beg. I'm done. I don't even in fact, I don't want to say much. Let me know I'm slammed.
You know what, Beulah? Thank you so much for joining this conversation. I'm
Uh,
grateful, by the
uh,
way. I'm grateful, yes. And I'm happy you came to, explain your comment. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. Yes.
no,
And
next time.
guys, if you still want to speak, if anybody out there wants to speak, the link is in the comment section. Just go ahead and click on it. We have Mr. A here again. Mr. A, hi. Hello, Mr. A. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes. Just you want to add something to the conversation.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I think, for me, it's just, I just want to emphasize on the whole educational thing. And I think so many people, when they actually see the name Bella Sheggz probably on the title, on the thumbnail, they are automatically think we're actually talking about Bella and Sheggz, and that's not the case. And to be honest with you, I like this sort of these sort of like contributions, to it's kind of like a everyday life sort of thing. I mean, look at Yolanda, who just came on, and basically just told us that she's probably been in this whole situation of in what we are really talking about. And it's just this sort of educational sort of things which kind of, appreciate your platform, the way you actually bring it out here, to we the audience, it's much appreciated. And I think people need to also kind of have this whole Glory, you're not interested in Beggs and Sheller. It's not the whatever they've done, that's it. It's what you were really interested in was the fact what they actually did in those 72 days. And in those 72 days they portrayed a certain sort of way, which you have every right to actually talk about. And now using that as a case study and and enlightening and educating people. And one thing I actually wanted to say was, I mean, there was a lady who came up and said, oh, we shouldn't be calling people dumb and stuff like that. To be honest with you, Lori, trolls would keep on writing rubbish, and you've got to ask yourself the question, something which is not even related to the conversation they will actually put on the comment in the comment section. So you got to ask yourself the question: are they dumb? It's seriously, because I mean, if you actually, the conversation is actually going, and we're not even talking anything related to Sheggz and Bella, and then you're coming up spilling rubbish out, which is not related to the conversation, then you've got to ask the question: are they really dumb? you know or should I say, are they unintelligent, or which one is it? So hey, is if dumb is not one that actually, hey, I've just got to spill it out there, because you got to really ask the question. You got to really
You
ask the
know,
question.
I think I need to call Laurie's attention to this. Laurie, please listen carefully. That is Mr. A's opinion, all right? I think he's getting irritated with what those people were actually typing. It was actually very annoying, to be honest. I'm just ignoring. But some people cannot really ignore it anyway. But thank you, Mr. A. Thank you so much for sharing. And yes, I mean, the conversations like this need to be had. And the truth is, I am particular about this conversation because I'm on Twitter every day. I'm on
Yeah.
Twitter every day, and I see and I read people's tweets. I read what these so-called shippers tweet. They are pushing the agenda of what Sheggz and Bella had and displayed in Big Brother's house as the standard for a relationship, for a normal relationship. And every time you that does not agree tweet back on your own timeline to state that no, whatever that was really abnormal. That is not the standard. They come at you, they insult you. As a matter of fact, I think it was 2 days ago, I received a very, very interesting message from one of them. Let me see if I still have that message here. Because, guys, I think this time around we need to call some people out. Let me see if I still have that person's message. Let me see if I have it on here and see if I can share it to you guys. I actually shared it on my Twitter wall, but I said no, during my live stream, when I'm having this conversation, I'm going to share the message that that person sent to me. We need to understand why we're having this kind of conversation. Those of you that are on here, please just give me a second. I need to share this particular message. Sorry, let me just see if I can get it. This person sent me a message, and oh my god, it was so funny. It wasn't really funny, but I was laughing anyway because for me, I just felt like, well, whatever. They can say whatever they wanted to say. So this person put out a tweet. Okay, not a tweet actually. This person sent me a message on Instagram. I don't know if I don't think I can find this thing on here. Okay, it's here. Oh yeah, this is the person's Instagram account. Anyways, this is the person. The person is a self-proclaimed God's chosen woman, God's anointed one. So I don't know if this woman is a pastor in a church that people actually attend. I don't know. But this is the message this person wrote here. Let me see how I can get it. Oh my God. Sorry, the way I put it on here, it's actually sliding really fast. But I'm just gonna go onto my Instagram and read it out. She wrote, "You this old woman with a devilish heart and so much hatred. Our typo is even very, very plenty. She said, and so much hatred for children. You are old enough to be their grandparents, always being negative about Sheggz and Bella, as if you are a saint or your relationship is perfect without flaws. Go and get a life and get yourself a man because you are already close to menopause. Calling Sheggz narcissist, yet your partner is worse than Sheggz. I pray you end up in shame for all your bad wishes to them. Return to your own relationship 100% full. You are a hypocrite and a witch with your old wrinkled face. May all your evil plans for Sheggz and Bella return back to your generations. You will soon meet your end. What Sheggz and Bella have is the perfect relationship, blah, blah, blah. I saw that message and oh my God, I had a good laugh because that was when I realized that wow, some of the actual human beings that watched Big Brother this season and saw what Sheggz and Bella displayed in that house, they actually think that that is how a proper relationship should be. And let me also put this disclaimer out there that Glory Elijah does not have the structure of what a perfect relationship should look like. But if there's one thing I know for sure, it is the fact that a perfect relationship or something close to a good relationship should not be abusive. It should not be manipulative. There should be mutual respect. I did not see mutual respect in what those two people displayed in the house. And in a typical love bombing situation, there's no mutual respect. Instead, there is fear from the victim to the love bomber. There's fear. There's the existence of fear. Or if I am too expressive, if I be myself too much, I'm going to offend my partner. So that message I got from that Shella shipper, I get it a lot. If I put out a tweet on Twitter, whether it concerns their fave or not, I get that message. And they always have this annoying way of signing off with Sheggz and Bella for life. What they had in Big Brother's house is the best. You know, they so for them they've been brainwashed. They believe that that is the best. And this is me saying that it is not the best. If you find yourself or anybody around you in that kind of situation, honestly, they are drawing close to losing their sanity and they need help. And they need to come to the realization that they are in deep shit and they need help. So I'm going to quickly move on to Free. Mr. A, thank you so much. Let me quickly jump the line, move on to Free quickly, then allow other people to share their opinion. Hi, Free.
Can you hear me?
Can hear you. You're welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm well. Happy weekend. Hi, everybody.
Yeah. Can you come close to your microphone so that we can hear you clearly?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I just came online on YouTube and I just saw you on live and I was like, oh, let me catch up on what's been going on. And I think I watched from the beginning, so I think I kind of have a clue what the conversation today is all about. For starters, since BBN like ended, since BBN stopped, I just like in a way completely zoned out of this housemates, their whole drama because for Sheggz and Bella specifically, it's as if people have already forgotten the kind of relationship they had in the house, how toxic it was. And now seeing even the people that were like pointing fingers at this character and like, oh, this guy is not doing the right thing. Now everybody seems to be like, oh, so cute, so cute. And I'm like, wow, you guys have a really short memory. It's just baffling. So because of that and a lot of other toxic things that is always on the timeline, to just go on Twitter is not even fun anymore. If I even get messages, I can respond to messages from people, but I have anxiety on your behalf because whenever I go on Twitter, there is one person always dragging you, and I'm like, oh my god! I said I have anxiety on your behalf. I'm not even joking. Like the kind of anxiety I have on your behalf is not the kind I have for myself. I can put out something and somebody will attack me and I'll attack back. But for you, the comments are always so vile. And I'm like, how do you take all this? Sometimes you even give them airtime. I'm like, just ignore these people. They are very, 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 very delusional. Most of them actually they know that this relationship is not supposed to be like this. They know what's up, but they continue to deceive themselves. They are very, very delusional. That's the truth. And you going on somebody's page to curse them out, say all kind of vile things about them, it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change who your fave is, except they get actual help. No one is saying that they shouldn't be together whatsoever. But I believe if Sheggz gets the adequate help, same as Bella, because she's not perfect as well, they have to work on their self individually. I can't condemn anybody, but the way they are now, I don't think Sheggz has worked on herself. I don't think she herself, they've even worked on their relationship. They're just patching it and trying to be like, show the public eye, oh, we are the sweet couple, blah, 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 blah. And people that are buying it are buying it. And you need to understand that a lot of these people, they lack love. They did not experience or they've not experienced what real love and what healthy love feels like. So when they see a lot of these toxic things, to them it's normal. To you that is complaining, they're looking at you weird, like, what's there that you're complaining about? This is so cute. Because that's what they've been used to. That's what they grew up knowing. So to them, it's very, very normal. And a lot of times, love bombing does not only come from a guy to a girl. Most of the times, these BBN contestants, they also do it to their fans. Like Sheggz was love bombing the audience, like I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, taking us on a roller coaster ride. It's not just the guy love bombing the girl sometimes. It's also these people love bombing the audience. But people don't even realize that they are love bombing us. They tell us about how great they are, how they are perfect, how they are this and that and that and this, and then they do something stupid, and then they cover it up with how great they said they were before and everything else, and you just sort of like fizzle out the bad things that they do. You just hold on to the good that they've already proclaimed about themselves. Meanwhile, it's people that are supposed to sing your praises, not you singing your own praises. I remember how Sheggz used to like sing his own praises in the house, how he's real, how he's that, how he's, and I'm like, allow people to be the ones to tell you that you're a real G. It's not you that will tell yourself all the time that you're a real guy, And this conversation, it caused a lot of issues, like between me and my sister, because she was a Sheggz stan. And I'm like, I don't even get it. It was so crazy because the way she was so supportive of Sheggz, it was mind blowing. And the funny thing was that she really disliked Bella. She made it look like, oh, everything was Bella's fault. Anything that happens, oh, it's Bella's fault. And I'm like, you're not even like this. You see what these people are doing to you? It's affecting you negatively because you're not even like this. And now you've become somebody entirely different just because you want to support your supposed fame. It's not making any sense. But it's as if they're hypnotized, and no matter what you say, no matter what you do, even when Baby released all those tracks, my sister was still blaming her. Like, I was like, see, I give up. I give up on you. I told her, like, I give up. I just give up. Let's not talk about this guy again whatsoever because you people are driving me nuts. If there's no way you see that this thing is wrong, then I don't know how to convince you that it's wrong. So I feel a lot of times people are just very delusional. They know what the truth is, but they just like to fool themselves. And I feel like people should just even leave them. whatever wants to happen should happen. My own is that nobody should come outside and say justice for this person, justice for that person, because who is going to answer you? I don't get it. The same people that are shouting now their relationship is picture perfect, is couple goals, better seal your mouth when something goes down and you people want to come out and cry foul. I remember during the time of Liquor Rose and Emmanuel, when you used to also say that that relationship is fake. I also used to say it, and I remember how their shippers used to bash your life like, oh my god, you were a hater, you were a this. Every other day, Glory is battling with Imaro's shippers, like you're this, you're that, you're that, you're this. And I'm like, are you people just delusional, or you're just really fooled? Is it that you're delusional, you're just really fooled? And then when the thing happened between Emmanuel and Lico during the reunion, these people had the audacity to be dragging this boy. And I'm like, well, I don't get it. Why are you dragging him? What are you dragging him for? Is it that you people are really telling me that you don't know that this relationship was fake, or you were really deceiving yourselves? I don't get it. You don't have anything to drag him for. It was clear to even a blind man that that relationship was strategic, and she was not the like victim in the whole thing, because she also knew that this boy was not really into her when they were in the house. If you say you did not notice, then I don't know what's wrong with your eye. Even she herself, Liquor Rose, she knew that the boy was not really into her. She knew he was flirting with Angel and all those things, but she played blind because the relationship was also strategic to her. So you coming out now to now make her look like the victim that Emmanuel betrayed or whatsoever. No, they actually played a game. Two of them, they were in agreement how they were going to carry out their whatsoever business that they were doing. The only difference is that maybe Licoros had genuine feelings for the guy, but it doesn't change the fact that they were very strategic about the relationship. So I'm just sitting down patiently and waiting. I'm not wishing anybody bad whatsoever. But this type of pattern is something that we've seen play out over and over and over again. Most of the relationships that they hype on Big Brother, they always crash. And the ones that people don't even like believe in at all, the ones that people don't even expect, they're always the ones that blossom and they're still in good relationships till now. That's because people are not all up in their ear telling them things, telling them what to do, dictating to them. And these people too, they should also know how to like put their feet down and tell these shippers to stop, because you guys are looking desperate. I'm glad that this year we've not started seeing shippers bought this, shippers bought that. I guess they've not resumed school yet. They're still on holiday because it's still a surprise to me. And they'll be collecting all those gifts. Tomorrow they will now put out tweets that, oh, don't control my life, don't tell me what to do, don't do this, don't do that. How can they not do that? They're the ones feeding you people now. They're giving you money, they're giving you gifts. You think it's for free? They will obviously dictate how you should act, who you should talk to. So don't think you can take one and leave the other one out. So I just feel like people should just stop deceiving themselves, like overall. Although I feel like it's intentional. The deception, sometimes I don't even think it's coming from this phase. I think it's them themselves, the viewers that are doing it to themselves. Because they obviously see that this thing is not adding up. This thing does not make any sense. But they just want to lie to themselves and believe in whatever they are saying, because they themselves, they lack love in their life. So whatever happens, I wish them the best. But me, I don't want anybody to come out and say justice for anyone, honestly. And I pray to God next year that we don't have any narcissist or anybody coming to love bomb us and tell us how great it is. And we also do not have an underdog that will come and be shouting who they. People can drag me in the comments. I don't care. I'm just saying my own. If I just hear that who they, it's slippers that used to stone you from outside my television. Don't even come with the same script that these people they've come with previously. I mean, they have actually drained us. At least let's see something new. Let's see something different for once. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Free. Free, you spoke my mind right there. I'm tired, like I'm done. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right, we'll just quickly move on to Oye. Hi, Oye. Hello.
Hi, Glory.
Hi, you're welcome. You're also laughing. You're
Wow,
welcome.
it's so interesting. It's good that you're having this discourse, and I really appreciate it. But sometimes when you post, I'm like, ah, Glory, just leave these people alone. But in a way, when I saw the title of the discussion today, I'm like, ah, this Bella and Sheggz people again. That was what I felt. But the moment I joined, hearing people talk, hearing the different, things, it's a learning, even for me as a married woman, it's a learning process for me. Because as human, the moment you stop learning, you stop growing. You
True.
learn from people's mistakes. You learn from people's growth. You learn from people's success. Different things you can learn from, even as a married woman, you can still be love bomb and you can be receiving all those things and your partner does not even realize it. You as a person, you don't realize it. But hearing all those things, you'll be like, oh, I think I do that too. I need to watch out. That's Keep an open mind, even to the haters. Keep an open mind. Just keep an open mind. Even if you see something that you don't like, like the other lady, sometimes I feel anxious for you, like, hey, this girl is talking, they will come, they will come at her again. Oh my goodness. I experienced it once and I took my Instagram, I went private. I'm like, what? I was trying to have a logical argument. Like I was trying to just have a discussion on Ero's page. And then this person just kept coming at me with, I'm like, why do people think this way? Why are you thinking right at all? I'm just trying to have, like, sometimes you learn from argument. It doesn't have to be your way. You argue and then you be like, oh yeah, oh, I see what you're saying. I get it. Okay. Yeah, now I understand. But this is what I'm trying to say too, But in this social media, there's no room for, intelligent discussion. Everybody just wants to attack and attack. I was like, and she went after my family. I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. I took my page private. I don't have much followers, but I'm like, oh more. I'm going private. She went through all my pictures, my kids' picture, everything.
Wow.
At that point, when I see people being attacked, I'm like, this is serious. What I want to just put, if you don't get anything from this conversation, is that you have to keep an open mind. Keep an open mind and learn. Even from the things that you don't like, learn from the things you don't like. At first, at the beginning, my husband was sort of listening and was like, well, what if I love? What if I this? And it became like a conversation, But then we learn something, like sometimes you do this and then you want something in return. It means that it has to be, I don't want to begin to say all the things that we were sort of discussing about. It doesn't have to even be about the Bella and Sheggz. That the title might say Bella and Sheggz, and that was how I felt initially. I'm like, oh, Bella and Sheggz again. Glory should just leave them alone. But when I came in, I'm like, okay, keep an open mind. You're talking about something that you don't know about, love bombing and all this stuff, all these things coming out from different people all over the world. That means there's something to be heard from there. If people from Nigeria, from South Africa, from all over the place are talking about this particular thing, then there's something to be heard there. So I'm not like, I don't have anything to say about Bella and Sheggz. I just want to put it out there that people should keep an open mind when there are discourse like this, when there are conversations like this all on live. Keep an open mind and learn. There's something really to learn from here. So that's all I want to say. Thank you so much, Gloria. And I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for you. Huh? You'll be fine.
Okay, thank you so much. The fact that you're married and you mentioned that these things also exist in marriage. Honestly, I'm also surprised. I'm not married, so I don't even know. I don't have any idea. I can only think of the level of, boyfriend, girlfriend relationship. I don't know. And even me myself, I never knew about the term love bombing. It was one of the speakers on such conversations. We had a live stream, I think that was last month or thereabout, and the person was just explaining something, and the person used, oh, love bombing, and the person didn't really go into detail. So I was really interested. I'm like, oh wow, okay, this is very interesting in the context the person used it. I said, let me go and do my own research. By God, my eyes were open. You just go on Google and you type love bombing, the side effects, the disadvantages, the signs. Oh my God, there's a lot to read about, and it's very, very eye opening. And what you just said, it confirms it. People do it sometimes, and they don't even know that that's what they are doing, and they don't even know that they are hurting people. And in
Even
their mind, they think it's love, real love.
even as a parent, you can also be doing it to your children. You're giving them all those things and you're expecting that, oh, why didn't you do this to me? Why didn't you come and say good morning to mommy? I've been taking care of you. I'm all that. It doesn't have to be transactional. Just do it because you can and because it's just there. Just do it. So I'm just saying the things that I've learned and the things I told my husband, like the times that you do laundry and then you put stuff in, you cook and then you say, I did yesterday, I did that yesterday. I said, that's love bombing. That's what you're saying here. Listen. It was sort of funny, but we were sort of like talking to each other, and then he was saying mine too, and then we also discussed it as a parent too, and then I'm like, okay, I think there's still time. I can just pop in and say it doesn't have to be about Bella and Sheggz. All these things that we're discussing, put it in your life too, and sit down even as yourself. Even as people that are coming in to talk about Bella and Sheggz, think about it your own self. Is there a part in me that love bombed people? Just try, even if it's a tiny change, as human, just do that tiny change. That's all. Thank you. Love you.
Thank you so much, Oye. My God. You know what? This is like cold water on my head. I feel so relaxed just hearing this from you. Thank you so much. And I just learned something from you as well, that it could also happen between a parent and their kid. This is something new to me as well. So now I have to start thinking about it in that regard. Okay, when I have my own kids, how should I raise them? And also with my spouse at the marriage level, when I get married, how do I relate with my spouse? Am I going to be selfish? Am I always going to be constantly seeking, their reciprocal actions just because I did XYZ for them? Thank you so much, Uwe. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome, darling. You're welcome.
Yeah. And guys, let me remind everybody again, or maybe probably just first of all, apologize. Yes, if the thumbnail of putting Sheggz and Bella was kind of triggering for a lot of people, yes, they are our case study for this conversation, and they are our case study because they are the people that we actually watched on a show for almost 72 days, and we saw things happen between both of them, right? I mean, this thing, it's not like they're the first people to doing whatever they did. This thing happens, but we don't get to see it on TV. So we saw theirs on TV, and I'm thinking, okay, fine, enough with the criticism. Why don't we look for a learning curve in what they shared and see how we can learn to be better persons from there? If they choose to be better, it's fine. If they do not choose to be better, it's fine. For me, it's all about taking the right lessons and applying it to our lives and be better from there. Okay, so we're going to quickly move on to Poku. Hi, Poku.
Hi, good evening, Glory. Please,
Good
can
evening.
Latricia please speak? I want to attend to my child.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Latricia, you're welcome back.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome back.
Yes,
You
thank you.
obviously have more to say, so
No,
please
no.
let's hear you.
Yes, what really motivated me to come back, it was after, I think it was that the last, but not last, the lady who spoke, I don't know, her name is Bella or Beulah, yes. I liked what she said when she spoke, that she is a mother of two boys, and definitely her boys are not going to do that when they grow up. Then it triggered me to say, there is another responsibility when we talk of topics like this, because as some of you don't have children and you are going to have children, some of us, we already have children. So in topics like this, they also need to educate us first, and then so that we can go and cultivate it down to our children and educate them as they are growing. We call it development. When you start taking your son or your daughter for a certain sport at an early age, the child is likely, if they have interest in that, when they grow up, to become a star in that, to become an expert in that, because you started at the right time when their brains and their bodies were absorbing very well. So if you start teaching your boy child how to respect a girl, when you start teaching your boy child that a girl is to be loved, is someone special, love your sisters, you start with the sisters, you tell him about the sisters, you teach them and you start telling your boy that you don't raise your hand to a woman, you rather avoid her, go out. Even the Bible says that. They say, as a man, if you have a crazy woman, go out and attend to whatever. When you come back, everything will be down. Because I guess God knew that men are muscular, so obviously, and they have the ego. Obviously, when you go ranting, you might be physical. So we need to educate. I am not saying the people, our case study, the people, they were not educated from their home, but I am saying, since when we are now seeing this, those of us who still have an opportunity to can educate our children about such things, we need to educate them, talk about it, not necessarily in a formal way, but discuss about issues like that. And you also tell your child every now and then that you are beautiful, so that they don't start hearing about being beautiful when they hear it from the streets, from someone from outside. They will grow up knowing that they're beautiful, they are appreciated. Sometimes you can even lie to the child and say, my friend was still telling me that how beautiful you are, that I have a beautiful child. Although, maybe the friend did not say that, because you are now building the confidence in the child. She will grow up knowing that I'm beautiful and all that. Look at how young Yolanda is, and how motivated she was. The decision that she took for a person of her age, I applaud her for that. And it shows that she even her upbringing, what she was seeing around her, or what she was taught, or whatever, it was so positive. But then it also needs us as parents. And also, as a parent, when that happens and you happen to see it, you must put your feet down. I think I will put my feet down to my son and say, you know what, boy, this thing that you're doing, it's totally out. It's not correct. I do not appreciate it. It doesn't paint the right picture about you, my son. When it comes from a parent, whether he's taking it or she's taking it or she doesn't take it, but when it comes from a point of a parent, sometimes it will have an impact on the child. There's something that I always say, that in creation, maybe talking about, I'm not trying to Bible the love bombing thing, but then I'm trying to say, if things were in the way that the plan was from the beginning, which I believe that it's still like that. A man is a leader by position of birth. Get me correct. Well, I know we have 50-50 and having 50-50, but that is applicable at our workplaces. We've got women who are good leaders, who are perfect. We have leadership positions at work. That is good. But at the home, when we say a man is a leader by position birth, we're talking about at the home arrangement, at home. Then there we're talking about married people. A man being a leader, but that leader being the head of the family, he must not be a head of a family and not have a head himself. He must have a head, someone that he also submits to, and that is Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ also submits to God. God submits to his word. That one, the organigram is clear. So let us not tamper with that plan of God of saying a man is a leader by position of birth, then a woman is a help. And you cannot become a help to a man, because a man, when you are his help, the man must cultivate you into your being, yourself. Meaning, when you talk of cultivation, if you come there and you are a person who is interested in teaching, being a teacher and all that, a man should be able to know how to accommodate you so that you can still be successful in the kind of field that you are working in. That is cultivation. You are what? You are not just a help that is a help and sitting there and your profession is being a wife. No. So that's why I want to make it clear, because sometimes when you say a man is a head of the family, sometimes it creates unnecessary politics, and it is like that. But then also that same man must be cultivated. When he is a boy child, we cultivate the education of being a man to become a boy child to become a man growing up. He needs that to be cultivated. So as a man, this is how you handle yourself. Then sooner you will get a woman that you need to cultivate. And in order for him to know how to cultivate a woman, a girl child from their side must be knowing herself, what she likes, what she wants, and be confident about herself, so that she can be a good help to the man. Be confident about herself. So then there is, in those things, if we do it like that, then you see there is no one who is tampering with another one's area, but instead you are complementing each other. As we always say, we say complement each other, but we are not delving deep into it, that how do we complement each other? How does it go? So, and also moving forward, Glory, like when a man start being a head of the family, it will obviously start in a relationship. Then I'm saying this, going back to what I said when I said, now it's Bella who's doing a lot of talking. Then it shows that there's a problem. It shows that we are not saying Bella is taking the position of being the head. But then that is where the love bombing comes in, to say someone is manipulated, and in order for the things to be the way the leader wants them to be, he is using the victim. He is using the person who must not be in the front. Yes, they can both talk. Bella can talk, but he must also talk. Not necessarily that he must be in the front because they're not yet married and all that. But then he should take a position as a man to say, as a man, I'm seeing this, this is what happened, or this is the view of the people, but I love this woman, I truly love her. The intention is to pamper her and love her. And the Bible also states it to say, men must love their wives. Then the wife must submit. There is no way, so they must not tell us that they love us and make us feel that they're making us a favor. It is our inheritance from God that they must love us. So it's a matter of them understanding it, and also us women not allowing them to make us feel like that, a sense of owing them, that hey, because he loves me, he's doing this for me and all that. You must not do that, because now the men, they are using that predator's mentality. Okay, we all have it, the predator's mentality. You focus on the weaknesses of the other person, and obviously that is the area of our weakness as women. When a man approaches you and I'm going to marry you, it's not an achievement, but then yes, it's an honor when a person says, okay, I'm stepping the relationship up by making you my wife. You will become Mrs. So and so. Yes, it's not an achievement, as I said. It's just an honor. You're honoring me. Yes, achievement is something that I worked for. A relationship I don't have to work for. Those are the educations that girls must know, that getting married, being married, or having a steady boyfriend or someone who loves you is not an achievement. It's just an honor. It's just a good thing that you get. You can even call it a blessing. When somebody must not come and make it feel as if I made you a favor. So that is where love bombing comes in.
Thank you so much, Latricia. That was worth a marble. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I personally am taking that one, sticking it on my heart. Thank you so much. Worth a marble.
Yeah, let's
Thank you so
educate
much.
our children to avoid these things happening again. When we see it on TV like that, you talk to your son, you talk to your daughter to say, you must not allow it to happen to you. If it happens that you come across such a situation, withdraw yourself immediately. It doesn't make you a failure. It doesn't make you anything less of yourself. But rather than being a victim, be a victor.
Word. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Latricia. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much,
Yeah,
Glory. Let
thank
me
you.
give others a chance.
All right. Thank you so much. I just want to quickly read the comment that Adetutu Pratt dropped here. I've been holding that comment for the longest time because I love, love, love what she wrote. So what she typed was, let me see. Yeah. She said manipulation can take either a positive or negative form. And in the case of love bombing, it is negative. The positive manipulation is unconsciously doing an act just to get by, not in a devious way. Yeah. Thank you so much, Adit Pratt, for that. Yeah, I'm going to ignore Maho is saying, Gloria Elijah, go and look for man. Okay. Maybe I'll carry a torch to the marketplace and start looking for a man. Anyways, we're going to quickly move on to Poku. Poku, are you ready to speak now?
Yes, I am. Thank you so
All right.
much.
You're welcome back. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
First, I just want to say, Glory, I really am in awe of your strength,
Thank
because you are
you.
doing something from because you want to shed light on something very important, and then you get all this backlash. We are all humans. It's difficult to hear harsh words being spoken to you, being written about you. And I just want to say there are so many people that love you, Glory, and
Thank you.
grateful for the work you do. So please tap into our love and try not to let those negativity chip away at your confidence or your passion to keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Love bombing. I think it's in the name. I've done a little bit of research myself, even though I previously have knowledge of the subject, but I've done a little bit of extra research, and it's in the name. When someone just explodes love on you, and makes you feel like you are the only person in the world and they will die if you ever leave them. And it's all about how, they make you feel. Okay. But what you don't understand is it's really not about you, because love bombing is a form of manipulation and it's a trait of narcissism. They need to see themselves as this perfect, admirable, wonderful lover. And they need to see themselves through you by giving you all those promises, making you feel like, yes, they're going to be with you for the rest of their lives and you are the best thing that happened since sliced bread. It's a whirlwind of emotion when you first meet that kind of person that makes you feel that way. It's like you've met your soulmate. It couldn't possibly be more perfect than this. But it's all a farce. It's a smoke. And with time, it will settle and you will see them for who they really are. So just to shed a bit more light on what this love bombing is, this is from my research. This is what I've dug up, that it's just about them and how they feel. A classic example that I like to give is that scenario where Bella asked Sheggz, I know they're a broken record, but please, yes, Bella asked Sheggz not to lift her up, or not to lift her up because she wasn't wearing anything underneath. And he did lift her up in spite of her request for him not to do so. And at the end of the day, the topic became how she said it to him. It was never about her and, oh baby, I'm sorry I lifted you up and made you feel uncomfortable. No, that's not the conversation anymore. The conversation is, how dare you speak to me that way? So it's you and your mental health. The person is not there to protect you and your mental health. The person is there to make sure you make him feel like the king of the world, like the best lover that ever existed. So you are living your life for him. You are diminishing your individuality so he can become more and more of a grandiose personality. So he can become more and more of that perfect image of the right man, the best man there is. So and I have young people, nieces and nephews that I speak to. And it's amazing how many young people do not even understand social rules. I love the contributors on today's call. They've made so many fantastic points. There's something Latricia said about starting with your children. Parents, I am a parental coach. That doesn't mean I know everything about parenting. It just means I'm very passionate about learning about parenting because I have young children. So I have a Twitter platform where I talk about all the things I learn. Parents, let me say something. Education is not the job of schools. The critical job of educating your children you cannot afford to outsource it to schools. Schools are institutions set up to teach your children the basics they need to learn: physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology. But they will not teach your children character. They will not teach your children the importance of knowing social rules and boundaries, the importance of knowing community helpers, how to speak to people, what to say, what not to say, the words to use, how to identify with people, the kind of groups not to identify with. I have young children. I have a curriculum that I researched and bought from America for my children. And okay, well, there's no point of saying that, but it was well researched by a lot of experts. That's what I was trying to say. But I have a curriculum for social interaction for my boys, teaching them how to understand emotions in other people. When we read stories, I teach them how to identify, what is this person feeling? What do you think you can do to make this person feel better? You need to start sensitizing your children to understanding emotions around the people around them, so they can tell when somebody is when not to cross the line when they're around people, the things to say, things that can hurt others, and I, like, back to my point, education is solely the job of parents. Going to school is not going to complete the job of raising a well-molded, a well-balanced child. You understand? It is your job. You should have a curriculum for teaching them whatever your religion is. You should be able to spend Saturdays teaching your children like a school structure. That is our job as parents. And I know that we are all busy, but the truth of the matter is, if you fail in your job as a parent, you are going to keep reaping that reward negatively for the rest of your life. So it's not a job that we can put off, especially with boys. Today we have a lot of badly raised husbands. They are the way they are, not because they want to, but because they were never taught growing up that as a man, you should be able to be a support to the people around you. They don't know what it is for a home to run effectively. They don't know what it is for food to appear before them. Nobody is saying husbands should be cooking, but these are survival skills that people should know so that even when someone else is doing it for them, they will have an appreciation of what it takes for food to appear, what it takes for this bathroom to be clean, what it takes for my children to go to school in the morning, all the steps involved in getting this machine of a home running. It's something that we should teach people. So, well, I have a lot to say, but going back to love bombing, I think more people need to understand that just because somebody makes you feel good doesn't mean they necessarily love you or want the best for you. Feelings are very deceptive. Okay, know how to tell the difference between toxic love and pure love that will not diminish your individuality, that will not kill you so they can rise. That is what will make you choose right. I know that a lot of women, last point, please. A lot of women are in terrible homes, experiencing serious difficulties in their marriages because they did not do the necessary work of trying to identify who is this person I'm with. It's not about how he makes you feel. Forget about that, my brothers and sisters. Feelings are, I've been married for 7 years. Feelings will fade before you say Jack Robinson. The person you are with, the character of the person you are with is more important. So when you are falling in love, carry your exercise book and your pen and draw 3 columns. The things that I cannot compromise on, list them out. The things that are a must have, list them out. The things that I can manage, list them out. Those 3 columns, use them to rate the personality of the person you are dating. If you will not compromise on a man that has a good control of his temper, if it is a deal breaker for you, and you meet somebody that makes you feel like a butterfly, and yet that person has that thing that you decided you cannot compromise on, don't bother continuing that relationship. You are shooting yourself. But people do not have a strategy. They just go into relationships, and because of the butterflies, they make life-changing decisions just because of feeling emotions. So please, let's try to be a little bit more strategic about how we date, how we raise our children, how we interact with people. These things, believe me, these things are things that I did not know. When my books arrived and I started going through this social curriculum, my eyes were open. Even my own friends were telling me, please send us these materials. We have no clue what our educational system is extremely flawed. We don't know what we are doing in a lot of areas. But believe me, add to what your children's school is doing. Forget maths and English. Those are important, but not all. Do some research on what does it take for me to raise a well-rounded person, human being, and you will find so many resources out there. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and you guys have a wonderful day.
I wish I could just give you a standing ovation right now, Fufu. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can't stop thanking you and every other person that has been able to connect this conversation to parenthood, raising a child. It's very, very vital information, you know. And there was something you said, it just completely reminded me of what I saw on the internet. I can't remember where, but I saw it on the internet. It stated, okay, 2 pictures were placed side by side. In one of the pictures, a lady was receiving cash, red roses from her man. In the other picture, her mascara was, streaking down her face. She had bruises. Her eyes were swollen. One of her eyes was swollen. She looked battered and shattered. The caption on that picture was, "I can spoil you silly, I can also spoil you silly. Very powerful image. I saw that picture and I have never ever forgotten about it. And coincidentally, I saw that picture during Big Brother Naija season 7. It was when the conversation was online. People were arguing. So I just stumbled on the picture. Whoever posted it is not even Nigerian. The person does not even watch Big Brother Naija. So I just saw the picture and I never ever forgot it. I said, wow. So this also connects to what we're talking about, love bombing. The same hand that the love bomber uses to spoil their victim is the same hand that they can also use to spoil their victim. In what way? By
Exactly.
breaking the person. You break the person's essence. You break the person's confidence. You break the person's mindset. You break and crumble the person. You shrink the person. You squeeze the person. That's
Mm-hmm.
another way of spoiling something and somebody. And spoiling people, it's not always about the physical. It also begins from the mind, their emotions. You spoil everything. You make them look like a spoiled goods, the soiled goods that are now useless. You just throw away. So it happens that way. So really, thank you so much, Coco. This is really enlightening. Permit me to ask, this book that you ordered for your kids, please, can you share the name for the benefit of other parents out there that would love to,
Okay,
yeah.
let me get it from Amazon. I'll send it now.
All right, please, if you can also type it in the comment section. I'll just share it on the screen so that any parent on here that would love to get it for their child or for their kids, to really go a long way to also aid their training of their kids. But really, once again, thank you so much, Pupu. I really appreciate your sharing, your wealth of knowledge here. Okay, so I think Pony is going to be the last speaker that we have today. Whilst we wait for Poku to share with us the book, yes, let me add her back to the live stream so that when she gets it, she can just share with us. Poku, when you find it, please just go ahead and speak. Okay.
Yes, I've put the link on this chat. I don't know if it's
Oh, okay. Let me see. Oh, okay. Can you put it on the public chat? Let me see if I can copy and put it on public. Private. Okay, let me just copy, guys. 1 second. Let me copy and paste it on the public chat. Okay, yes. So there it is. If you are a parent or maybe about to be a parent and you need this book, please go ahead and click on it, purchase it. Focus said it's really helpful, and I'm trusting that it's really helpful as well. I'm also going to look for how to get it as well. Thank you so much, Fuku. Thank you so much, Fuku. We have Mr. A back here, but I'm going to allow Pony speak first before we move on to Mr. A. Mr. A is going to be the last speaker for today. Or if there's any other person that wants to speak, you can quickly click on the link in the comment section. All right. Okay, Pony. Hi, Pony.
Hello, Glory. How are you?
I'm fine. You're welcome to the conversation. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm really
You've been.
excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be back too. You've been our shock absorber for the week.
Really? How?
Like you really take in all those comments, and it's admirable because there are so many people on social media that say so many things, but I actually
Yeah.
love the fact that you're confident enough and you really feel and you speak up for what you believe in, and that's something that's really admirable. So I really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. So
Okay, I
I'm going
didn't.
to Yes. So I'm going
Mhm.
to get into it because I've had the privilege to listen to everyone speak. And I think right now we're using Sheggz and Bella as a case study,
Yeah.
but the conversation is a conversation that is very descriptive of we as a society, as a collective, because when you look at us, we're a very enduring mindset based society. So we tend to
Mm.
think because certain things have been passed on and seen as normal, they are the norm. Because when I look at this topic of love bombing, which I've been acquainted with for quite some time, and I've I've researched about it, and I've learned enough about it to notice that we seem to mistake a functional relationship with a healthy relationship. There is a totally big difference between functional relationships and healthy relationships. Healthy relationships are not devoid of fights. They are not devoid of struggles. They are not devoid of disagreements. But one thing they do not have is manipulation. The moment a relationship has manipulation and a power imbalance, which usually tends to come with love bombing, then you know there is a problem. And
Yeah.
what I've figured and noticed about love bombing is that it's the first stage. Usually, what follows, because love bombing usually consists of the chase. So, what
Mm.
happens when the chase is done?
Mm.
It ushers in a phase of destruction and chaos.
Mm.
And I want us to notice that when we are having these topics, we're not having these topics because one particular person's life is perfect. No, we are having
Mm.
this topic because such relationships being in the limelight make it look like this is the standard of
Exactly.
relationships. Let's not
Exactly.
idealize beginning of relationships more than the longevity of relationships,
Mm.
because those are totally different things. Because when
Mm.
you look at love bombing, first signs of love bombing, they'll do it to you, and then you will notice the second sign of a love bomber, how they treat other people.
Mm.
Because they usually tend to be bullies to other people,
Word.
emotional bullies, just like they are bullies to you.
Yeah.
And this is very descriptive of whatever it is that we saw displayed. I won't go into details because we all saw this.
Yeah.
So when I look at this relationship, this type of relationships are functional. And just because something is functioning does not mean it's healthy.
Exactly.
So these are things that shouldn't be encouraged, because usually what happens with love bombing is that it thrives on isolation and it thrives on manipulation. So the
Mm.
moment the person does not reciprocate, the other party doesn't reciprocate, it's usually trouble and problems.
Exactly.
And then before you know it, things have gone out of control. And I love that
Mm.
there were parents here and people were talking about how they are choosing to parent and how they want to talk to their kids about it. Because
Mm.
as someone who is basically within the age group of Sheggz and Bella, I understand that there is a difference between seeing something and saying it.
Mm.
Many of us grew up in households where the message that was taught was no matter what, you stay. And that is the fact.
Mm.
We grew up in situations where someone is telling you one thing, but love was for dying in it. It was not for coming out. You know, we had this type of mindset of giving people accolades for doing the basic minimum, which they are supposed to do in relationships. Because when you
Exactly.
love someone, you take care of them. It's not something that needs praise. It's not something that needs an award. It's something that is the other person is right, especially if you are married to this person. You take care of them. It's not something that needs to be rewarded. So when I see people praising, part of what enables love bombers and why love bombing is so prevalent is because people praise people for the bare minimum, which people are supposed to do in relationships. When you love
Exactly.
someone, you give them gifts. When you love someone, you take it at their pace. The difference with love bombing is the pace is imbalanced. It's more fast paced, and when you truly love someone, you do not expect them to give you something back.
Mm.
That is the number one sign that this is wrong. The moment someone expects to be expects to be praised, expects to be put on a pedestal for doing the bare minimum which they're supposed to do in a relationship, that
Mm.
is already an X. And this is what shippers thrive on.
Preach.
Shippers are making it look like because a guy buys you gifts, because a guy buys you a car, it's a rare thing. No, it's not a rare thing. People that
Mm.
love people do those things for people that they love. It's not something that is groundbreaking. It's the bare minimum, you know?
Preach.
So we need to be able to understand healthy relationships, not functional relationships. Let's not encourage these narratives because they make it look like such a thing as love is something that you have to calculate. And that's not it. Love is not very difficult, by the way. Love is not very difficult. What makes love difficult is the fact that we have so many idealizations of love that are wrong. So when I look at this scenario, I just look at it and I empathize with the parties involved and whoever is going to get hurt. But I also cannot feel sorry in this particular case study because the person is going into it even against all the warning. Even some of this warning is coming from her own funds. So whatever happens at this point, she can't really say she was not warned. Then I also want to talk about the issue of identifying love bombing and setting standards for yourself. Actually, people have this misconception that people who are victims of this are people who have issues. Let me tell you, the number one victim of most men who are manipulative are actually confident women. We see it every day. A woman who has everything together, taking care of a deadbeat man. It's happening. Usually in the beginning of the relationship, it's too good to be true. Let me tell you why confident women are usually the targets and the most likely to fall for it. It's because they are the most tolerant. They are the most tolerant towards, he will change, he will do this, it's that, but he does this. That is why they are the number one victims of such men. So I can also trace it back to what we have seen over the years, when they constantly tell you marriage is not a straight path, you have to stay, or relationships are not a straight path, you have to figure it out. There is figuring it out in a healthy relationship, and then there is figuring things out in a functional relationship, which are two totally different things. So you should be able to tell the difference. And people are most likely to do what they see more than what he said, because a parent cannot tell you, do not do this, but yet they themselves are in that situation. You see it every day with your father. So some of these things are descriptive and they are depicted in our homes, they are depicted in our society. That's why it is a very touchy subject. When you talk about it, it ruffles feathers. Because people do not want to say these things, but these things are happening, and we need to learn to discern these things. We need to learn that being alone is much better than being in a wrong situation. Nobody has ever died from being alone. Take time to know yourself, take time to engage and indulge with your partner. Know your partner. It's not a crime to want to take things slow. So that you can save yourself from being a headline, one, or being a community story, or even the most important thing is you can save your space and your mental health. Love will happen. A person who genuinely loves you, a healthy relationship will happen. As long as you're a person who is right enough to attract a healthy relationship, you will surely attract one. So let's not praise people for the bare minimum, which people that love people, or things that people are supposed to do when they're in love should do them. So basically, that is my whole take on this love bombing issue. It's not healthy at all. It's a red flag. And usually the two types of people that do it are, one, people who are afraid to be lonely, they're chasing something, and the second one, narcissists. So you choose which one you're dealing with. So that's all I can. Thank you once again for giving me the platform. And that's my take on this situation.
What's funny? I was literally holding myself back from jumping off my seat to go and get my book and biro to come and sit down and take notes. You just literally schooled us again and again and again. And the beauty about this conversation we're having today is Everybody is saying something different, but we are still hitting the nail on the head about the same topic of conversation. I mean, it just goes to show that everybody has done their own research, has their own interpretation of the situation, has their own perspective about it. And that's the beauty of conversations like this. And I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Uni. This was really insightful. Really, really insightful. Yes. And there was something you mentioned. Let me see. I hope I remember that. I hope I don't forget because it was actually at the tip of my head when you were talking about it. Oh my God, I hope I don't forget it. Ah, I think I'm forgetting it now. But I think it was when you were explaining, the usual things that should happen in relationships, the barest minimum, yes, and people elevating it and celebrating it like, oh, it's such a huge deal. Yes, you're right. That is something we see every season of Big Brother Naija, and then it creates this mentality that, oh, every relationship standard is how it should be, the way we are seeing it displayed by these housemates, even though there's some level of toxicity in there. They tell you what you see online, especially on Twitter, what you see is, oh, which one should you celebrate? The 80% of love that a certain housemate has shown, or
Yeah.
the 20% of toxicity, or vice versa, the 20% of love or the 80% of toxicity. And they will tell you that however it comes, they will embrace it that way because at the end of the day, love existed there. And then it makes you wonder, like, what is really the definition of love? How do people look at such a situation that we watched for almost 72 days and then they accept that as true love? How? Oh yes, I remember what I want to say now. The when you mentioned that love bombers usually target confident women as their prey. We had a live stream. I think that was when I was in Zanzibar. I think, or maybe it was before I went to Zanzibar. I can't really remember. It was around that period, and we had someone. I think her name is Vivian. She shared her own experience about emotional abuse, manipulation. She did not call it love bombing, but she just emotional abuse and manipulation from her partner. According to her, she is a very, very confident woman, a feminist for that matter, very bold, very vocal, outspoken. But whenever she was with that man, her partner, she would automatically shrink. She'll start acting like a dummy. She'll start acting like she doesn't even have a voice of her own. According to
Yeah.
her, what her partner told her was that you can, be bold and be whatever with other people. When you're with me, I'm the man. You should learn to calm down. You should learn to reduce your strength when you are with me. That kind of thing.
Mm.
I'm not really saying what she said verbatim, but that was how she explained it. And I'm like, wow. So in summary, what she was trying to say was that when she was with other people, she could be herself. But when she was with this person she called her lover, she was reduced to nothing. It felt like the guy had inferiority issues, his own insecurities. So he was literally projecting that on her. And not like there was any physical violence or physical abuse of any sort, but he would make sure he talked her down. He would make sure he invalidated her strength, made her feel like you are weak. You are not a strong person. You are a weak woman. So you should find strength in me. According to her, it went on for a long time until she had to walk out of the relationship by herself, which was not easy for her to do because in such a situation, there were also occasions where the guy would really shower her with so much love and attention. But that level of toxicity and manipulation, it existed so strongly, it was really overwhelming for her. So it took
Mm.
her all of her strength for her to move on from that person. So
Yeah.
when you mentioned the thing about love bombers, basically going after confident women, I just had to, I remember that lady. And I think why they do that is because, you know, the confident women are usually the toughest to subdue. I don't know if you get me, Puni.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
the
usually the
confident women are usually
toughest
the tougher to subdue.
they're, they're usually the toughest to subdue. But one thing about the confident women is that they're the most resilient of the whole bunch. With
Hmm.
all that confidence, because they're usually such fighters, with life, their approach towards life is a go-getter attitude and take on everything. So usually
Hmm.
this can come with a lot of resilience. And
Yes.
the thing about relationships is, for a relationship to last, there has to be some sort of resilience. So with resilience
Hmm.
comes tolerance for certain things that sometimes you may not even necessarily need to tolerate. But because you feel like, no, something can happen. I can change this person. This can do this. You keep on, you keep on, you keep on until you're drained and you're emotionally exhausted. So I think love bombing and such relationships, whatever love bombing leads to, or the eventuality of it all, it thrives on the resilience of the person who is receiving the manipulation and the abuse or
Hmm.
whatever that may be coming with it.
Hmm.
So not all love bombing may result into abuse. That's what we need to know. Not all
Yeah.
love bombing results into abuse. But the one thing it
Hmm.
will definitely result into is manipulation, because the whole thing in the first place is love bombing thrives on the power dynamics that it brings the person who is doing the love bombing. So the moment the power dynamics is imbalanced and shifted, then you start seeing sides of the person that you never expected to see. So it's
Hmm.
resilience mainly that makes this thrive.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also a believer that as long as negative manipulation exists, one way or the
Mm.
other, it will always lead to one level or one form of abuse. It doesn't always have to be physical.
Physical,
And
yeah, it doesn't
truthfully,
always have to be
yeah,
physical.
the truth is the physical abuse is it seems like it's always the last resort. I feel like
Yeah.
it begins with the emotional abuse, the psychological torment of it all. Because when you start expecting a lot from someone, you're putting so much pressure on this person, you're forming the person, it begins to play mind games with the person. The person begins to doubt themselves, right? So once that doubt steps in, it creates a lot of brain work. The person is constantly thinking. You're blaming yourself. You're doubting your own self. You're thinking a lot. That is already emotional abuse. Then the
You think
psychological torment of it all. Yeah, Connie.
yeah. You think you're failing.
Yeah, you think you're failing. And you begin to blame yourself about almost everything. And when the person loses their cool, you begin to blame yourself that, oh, it's because of me. I'm the trigger.
Yeah.
I'm the one that's provoking this person. you
Yes.
you know and what you said about resilience, right? Women who are confident, or even men too who are confident, because they don't easily let go of
Hmm.
projects in their life.
Yes. Yes.
We all see these things as projects. A relationship that you are committed to, it's like a project to you. You don't want
Yeah.
to be the person that easily gives up. Otherwise, oh, public opinion, people around you will laugh at you. So you want to hold on to that relationship. You don't want people to
Yeah.
say, oh, you really give up. You're a quitter. So because at your place of work, maybe in other aspects of your life, you're not a quitter. When it comes to that one particular relationship, that you probably do not even understand that there's toxicity, you just want to
Yeah.
hold on. You want it to
Because you
work by all means. Yeah. Because you don't want people to see you as a quitter. Yeah.
yeah. You
Okay.
said it just the right way.
Yeah.
You don't want to see as a quitter, and usually we tend to think that we can separate our work selves from our personal selves, but it's usually very hard because we usually tend to interchange and they feed into each
Mhm.
other. So thank you
Mhm.
very much for this topic. It's very important and it's very good because it needed to be had so that awareness could be raised
Yeah.
and people know that, look, there are certain things that are very subtle, but they can actually pile up and result into something that is worse than what everyone else expected. And this happens a lot, even with friendships, by the way. There is love bombing
Mhm.
in friendships. So it's not only romantic
Oh
relationship.
yeah. Yeah.
So thank you so
Exactly.
much for this
Thank you so
topic.
much. Oh my God, this was so refreshing. Thank you so much. You've schooled me. In fact, all of you that have been speaking, you have been schooling me personally. I've been learning a lot. Thank you all so much. We have Mr. A here. Mr. A is going to be our last speaker for tonight. Mr. A, are you there?
Hey, hello, Glory.
Yes. I should name you our moderator for this live stream.
No, I mean, I find today's conversation really interesting. I mean, um, you know, I just find it very educational, and as you said, and everybody else actually says, we are all kind of learning, and I would like to basically, thank you so much for putting this out there on your platform. Because I'm sure out of the hundreds of people actually, tuning in or watching on your platform, that at least you'll probably be able to help, if not, one, 10, doesn't really matter. But, at least you'll be able to help, people, see different, views on mental, emotional and physical abuse. And please, if you can, every sort of like weekend, if you can use a case study of the BBNaija and we talk about a different topic, but using
Yeah.
just a case study, because that'd be great, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that BBNaija is, is over, but we do need to be talking about these other things that happens in reality, and let's not just forget about them. Yeah. But
Definitely.
my last word is thank you so much. You're
Thank you
doing
so much,
excellent,
Mr. A.
excellent,
Thank you so much.
wonderful job.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to, and yes, I mean, it's something we should do. Last week, what did we talk about? We talked about um, pregnancy, surrogacy for women, and we had a lot of interesting perspectives. Yes, I shared my own fears. A lot of other people also shared their fears. I'm just really sad that Sekai is not here today. She actually really shared a whole lot, and these are conversations that we should always have. So thank you all so much. Mr. A, I'm definitely going to take your word for it. We will
Yeah,
definitely have
please.
more interesting conversations. And the reason we're going to be using some, relationships or some happenings from the show is because it's I don't know, should I call it a global show? Well, it's a worldwide show. It's an international show, and a lot of people actually watch the show. So I feel like it's going to be more relatable, right? That okay, people saw this X Y Z happen on the show, so we can just pick a case study from there and talk about a particular conversation. So next week, Friday, as usual, I will share a poster of what we're going to be talking about on Saturday. For now, I want to thank every single one of you for joining and sharing your rich perspective. You guys have really schooled me today. I mean, I did my research obviously, but listening to all of you speak, I've learned more. I've learned more. I've learned the parental aspect. I've learned from the part of marriage, from the angle of marriage, the angle of platonic relationships. Guys, there's a lot that's out there that we should even learn. And I'm really grateful that you all chose to speak today and share with us. Poku, Pony, Mr. A, Latricia, Coco. Coco. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If I didn't mention your name, thank you so much. It doesn't make you less important. I'm really grateful. And yes, for amazing people like you all in the comment section, I think there's Drama Queen, there's Mina, there's Adetutu Pratt. I am looking forward to the day that the likes of Adetutu Pratt will also join and share our own opinion. Oh, there's also Beulah Kalu. Yes, I'm really grateful. I really would love for you people to join and speak and share with us your opinion virtually. Yes, it will really be a pleasure to have you all on here. Look, Sakai just joined. Did you just join or you've been here? Sakai is also Happy Endings. Happy Endings, are you just joining? Oh my God, I miss hearing your own perspective today. But I'm sure we can always hear from you some other time. She said I was in class today, Gloria. I will join next time. Great, great. Thank you so much for joining. Chika Wachku said really learned a lot. Thank you all so much. Poku, thank you so much for sharing. What's it called? The book that you are using to educate your son or your kids rather. Thank you so much for being gracious enough to share that book with all of us. And to those of you who are silent viewers, you are watching, but you're not speaking virtually or you're not dropping a comment. You are not less important. You are also very important. Thank you so much for adding to the numbers. You are very much appreciated. Okay, guys, this is where we're going to end today's conversation. Yes, Letitia is saying, guys, please don't forget to like. Yes, please don't forget to like this live stream. If you enjoyed today's conversation, give this video a thumbs up, all right? And feel free to share it out there, okay? And yes, on the channel, we are still analyzing and reviewing Dubai Bling. So you guys might be wondering why I'm drawing and dragging the show. I'm doing that because I noticed that some people will watch and they don't really understand. So I'm kind of giving people time to catch up on the episodes and then watch my review, okay? So the show is available on Netflix. Go ahead, watch it. That is also a very, very interesting show that comes with a lot of lessons to learn. Last week, Saturday, we used it to dissect all the very, very interesting topics, that was raised on the show. So please, we're going to do more. Yes, Atlade Taiwo is saying, Glory, please do more of this. Let's learn. Definitely, I will do more of this. Next week, Saturday, we're going to be having another very socially relevant conversation. Okay, we're going to be having more of this. So thank you all so much. Oye said, thank you, Glory. Just orders Poku's recommended book for my boys. Amazing. These are the kind of testimonials that I love to hear. This is amazing. Poku, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anything for us here, anything for the mothers and for the wives. Thank you so much, Poku. Yes, Ranty me that is saying, well done, Glory. Thank you so much, Ranty. All right, guys, I need to go now. Thank you all once again. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and have an amazing, amazing weekend. Bye. Woo! Okay. I'm looking for my signing out music. Hey, stop right here. Don't go anywhere. You are especially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Glory Elijah, and this right here is Frankly Speaking with Glory. I am the girl with the tea. I give detailed analysis of reality TV shows like Big Brother Naija, like Nigerian Idols, like The Voice Nigeria. Basically any reality TV show that actually interests you, it automatically becomes my interest as well. I literally carry on from my head. I give detailed analysis, I give detailed reviews. I run commentaries also because I want us to have fun. I want us to catch cruise. I want us to, vibe to stuff like that. And reality TV shows are not the only kind of content that I put out on my channel. I also do movie reviews. So you see this Glory Elijah of a girl, she's a very, very boring sport. Guys, for real. I am super, super boring. However, whenever I feel like passing my time, just having my own fun, chilling, being in a zen mode, I catch up on movies, which I find very, very interesting or exciting. But also, guys, I love reviewing those annoying ones because, hey, we have to call them out. You cannot come and waste my data. You cannot come and waste my precious time watching some really annoying movies. And I also talk about trending social topics because, of course, this life has to be balanced, okay? It's not all about entertainment and fun all the time. We also need to talk about those serious issues that concerns me, also concerns you as well. You're about to have a blast on this channel. I also share my life experiences from time to time. Yes, that is when people ask me to talk about it. But if people don't ask me to talk about it, sometimes I do not feel the need to talk about it. I like keeping my private things private. But once again, you are welcome to my YouTube channel. And as I told you before, you are in the right space. Trust me, you will be so addicted to this channel. People are going to be asking you, what's happening with you? Are you okay? And hey, don't forget to turn on post notification, all right? That is the best way for you to always receive alerts of my videos. So you see what I'm doing on my screen right now, just do exactly that and you'll be cool.